What do you have to say?
Wednesday night, April the 6th, Slam Pigs Podcast coming to you 4 days after WrestleMania 32. We're back after our first ever post show. Michael, how are you doing tonight? Thank you again for twice in 1 week joining me. How's it going?
You know I'm devoted. You know I'm devoted. What is this, show 5 or 6?
I believe we're up
Number
we're 6 here on the Slam Pigs Podcast.
Number 6.
Yeah.
Slam Pig 6. That just rolls right off the tongue.
Slam Pig City.
Yep, we're all about that Slam Pig City. I hope you Slam Pigs are out there with us, listening. You know we love your feedback. I'm Mike alongside Travis. We got a big show to go over tonight. The post-WrestleMania Raw. The biggest Raw of the year usually.
Biggest Raw of the year?
Well, it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be.
The
fans have made it that way.
We'll go over whether or not we thought it was later in the show. But let's kick it off, Travis. Let's kick it off with the main event of Raw. Fatal 4-way for the number one contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. You had AJ Styles winning over Kevin Owens.
Cesaro returned.
Made his big return. And Chris Jericho.
Well, before we get to the main event, how do we get here? It started with Roman Reigns coming out for a promo. And in my opinion, and you might disagree, I think they're going the heel route with him. He's got that chip on his shoulder. They addressed it. He brushed off Sami Zayn like a total prick. And you know what? I like this suit on Roman. I think he wears it a lot better than, hey, cheer me. You know?
To me, I think they were trying to play him off as being more like Austin because they feel like he's never going to be over as a babyface, so they got to let everybody know, hey, I'm not here to be a good guy. I'm here to be an in-betweener guy. He even said, I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm the guy. Yeah.
And he said it like a prick.
Yep, that's a bold statement.
Oh, yeah.
Is he really the guy?
In WWE, in Vince's eyes, is he the guy? It looks like it is. In Vince's opinion, I think he's the guy.
And when everybody comes back healthy, do you think he's the guy?
Depends where Cena's on the card. If he's for a novelty act to bring up guys again, like with the U.S. title, we could see I hate to say this, a babyface Cena versus a heel Roman at SummerSlam. Could see that scenario happening because Cena's back in early June.
I think gut feeling right now is if he's not in a group, I feel like Roman Reigns, when everybody's healthy, I feel like he's going to get lost in the shuffle. I don't think he has the mic skills or the charisma to hang on his own.
Because he never had a chance to. He was just the muscle.
Yeah.
And he rode the coattails of two guys that could talk. Well, Rollins can kind of talk.
You can tell that Ambrose is probably the one more suited on the microphone out of the three. I mean, Rollins does cut a good promo every once in a while, but his voice just kills me. Hey, I'm Seth Rollins.
John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like Josh, what's his face? It's on the...
Josh Matthews?
No,
I don't know what I thought it was.
The announcer.
Josh Matthews.
The one in the ring announcer.
Justin Roberts.
Yes, Justin Roberts. Sorry, I called him Josh.
Do your Justin Roberts.
John Cena.
I like when he introduces Undertaker.
Yeah.
The Undertaker. He gets into
Sounds like he's taking a big poop.
Something.
Really
He's
does.
not even with WWE anymore.
No,
so.
but...
I don't even know why they released him, or he quit, gave his notice. I never knew. I don't really care.
Does anybody care? Nope.
The NXT announcer they got right now, the guy, he's pretty good.
I like him.
I could see him up on the main roster. Well, let's
mean,
get into Raw here. Roman cut the promo. Out comes Chris Jericho, if I recall first. You know, it was an open challenge pretty much by Roman, followed by AJ Styles, followed by Kevin Owens, and followed by Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn did a flip or something here, right? And
who got the biggest pop out of the four? Was it Zayn?
I want to go out on a limb here and say maybe Kevin Owens.
You think Kevin Owens? I know it was close between the two.
Kevin Owens, man, the fans want it.
He's over.
He's over like
He's
Clover.
over as a heel.
And he hasn't changed a thing since Ring of Honor. He's still Kevin Steen.
Yep, they love it. I mean, they're eating it up like fucking hotcakes. And I don't blame him because Kevin Owens has a lot of charisma, great worker, obviously not the best look, but...
No, he doesn't need it.
The fans, they don't care.
Hey, Dusty Rhodes, we bring him up a lot.
Yep.
Not exactly the
Son
Greek god of body there.
Yep, he was definitely
made it work.
A little out of shape.
I know it's a different era, but
it would just, I think it would just surprise me if Vince really gave Kevin Owens that big push.
I don't know. They might be in desperation mode also.
It comes back to the Dusty Rhodes thing. Dusty Rhodes never got the big push.
Is the main question, like, what is going on? How much longer till Triple H takes full control of creative? Nobody really addresses that.
When Vince dies.
You think?
Yep.
Till the day he dies?
Absolutely. I still feel like they come into that creative meeting, Vince trumps all. As
'Cause
old as he is, he still trumps everybody. Now, as far
He's
as
a workaholic.
Yeah, as far as NXT goes, I don't think he trumps anything. I think that's all Triple H. That's Triple H's baby. I think Vince gave that to him.
I don't think Vince touches a thing in NXT.
No, I think he
Except
gave.
who comes up.
Yeah, I think he gave that to Triple H to say, "Hey, show me." And you see what NXT's doing.
Vince is smart enough to lay the foundation for when he's gone.
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing, basically.
As
But
much
nobody
as,
really addresses that. Like,
as much as we hate Triple H for his politicking when he was a worker,
ugh.
the way he
The
runs,
Reign of Terror, 03 to 06?
probably
They
a
call it
longer
the Reign
than
of
that, probably
Terror.
more like 08. But
Yeah.
I mean, as much as you may hate that, as far as him putting out a product, as far as NXT, I think he does a great job.
Well, now he's also, when he wrestles, he's a nostalgia act, too. So it's not as easy to boo him. Back then when he was a regular guy, full-time guy, it was like, ugh. WrestleMania 25, bring it up again with Randy Orton. That was an awful main event.
That begs the question. I mean, is he the guy? Has he ever been the guy, or was he just the guy working with the guy that drew the money?
Yep. Famous quote. I believe that was Cornette.
But we saw the Fatal 4-Way. AJ Styles comes out on top. Big shock to you?
Kinda. I mean, but look who's in the match. All the winners would have been a big shot,
Yeah,
except Jericho.
we did
And you know
skip-
what? My gut was going Jericho because it was safe for them.
Yeah,
you know?
we did skip over one big thing that happened before the match started. Sami Zayn attacked by Kevin Owens before the match. Last minute replacement, making his return from injury.
The Swiss Superman back in action, ripping off a suit, and then he had his trunks under it. Cesaro. Good to see my man Cesaro in the
Love
house.
Cesaro, one of the best workers in WWE for the last few years. He's really improved his mic skills. I think his charisma. I loved him with Tyson Kidd. I thought they were an awesome tag team.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him finally get that push like he was starting to get before he got injured. I'm hoping they stick with him and make him more of an upper card guy. Hopefully he doesn't fall by the wayside and get pushed down mid card again.
I have no faith in creative with him. They have. I don't know. Like I said, it's desperate times, but I don't know. They've gave me no reason to have
I would
faith.
love it if they put Paul Heyman back with him again. I thought that was a great idea that they just scrapped way too early.
That made no sense.
But it was a great
Heyman
idea.
could have talked for him
Yep.
because he was foreign. He has a
Yep.
harder time, coming across.
Look what he does for Brock. Brock goes in there to work.
Did you see the podcast like a year and a half ago, the Austin podcast with Vince, where he brought up Cesaro?
Yeah, he said he didn't have the it
He
factor.
doesn't connect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
thought
how
that
would they
was
know?
too-
They never give him a mic.
Yeah, I
they
thought
never
that
give
was-
him a chance.
Yeah, I thought that was total horseshit.
Millennials.
That just spoke to me as to how much Vince knows nothing about what the fans feel.
He's out of touch. You're out of touch.
Out of motherfucking touch.
But yeah, Cesaro's back, and it was
Cesaro's-
it was a good match.
There was a lot of good spots there. I
yeah.
love the Cesaro powerbomb.
The Tower of Doom spot.
Yeah, I loved it.
Well, the crowd full of smart marks, which is always at the Raw after Mania.
They chant everything.
They ate this shit up,
Uh-huh.
especially the outcome.
Yep.
And I definitely ate this shit up. I was excited. I don't know if you popped at home. Who did you want to win?
Personally, I would have liked to see Cesaro win.
Would it have made sense?
I don't know if it makes sense, but as far as a match, I feel like Cesaro could have a great match with Roman. I feel like that could be that power match where who's stronger. You know what I mean? Cesaro pound for pound, maybe the strongest guy in WWE.
Cesaro had a match with the Great Khali, I remember.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that bad.
No.
And that's all. Cesaro's one of those guys.
That's like having a match with a broomstick
A really fat, big broomstick.
that can't hardly walk.
AJ Styles is your new #1 contender. Did you think at the end of 2015, when he was in New Japan, that phrase would ever come out of our mouths?
I didn't think it would come this quick.
Quick.
Yeah, when he got the WWE.
Well, even them picking him up from New Japan was a shock. They swept him out of nowhere with
I don't think it was a shock. I feel like
Nobody saw that coming. I did not see it because I watched Wrestle Kingdom.
yeah. I just wish they would have done it earlier. To be honest with you,
About
5
10
years ago?
10 years,
even
maybe.
5 years ago, this guy was still tearing the house.
Well, he
down
had a
everywhere.
tryout, Jim Ross said, and when he was a talent relations guy, and he passed on AJ Styles, and he said on his podcast when he regrets that. AJ Styles has never impressed me on the mic, I'm going to be honest.
No,
He's still to that, but don't give him a mic that much then. It's not that hard. Let his ring work do pull Brett.
you know what I'd like to see AJ Styles as a heel.
Oh yeah, in the Bullet Club, yeah, he was
I
great.
think he's much more over as a heel.
If he's surrounded by great heels, and I think
Yes.
if they do, that's what they'll do. On his own, he's a babyface. Like Rollins didn't work as great as a heel on his own, even though I think he did all right.
Well, that's why they put him with the Stooges, the new Stooges.
Yeah.
But I still didn't feel like that worked very well.
Ugh, it was bad.
As far as Rollins goes by himself, you're right. I think he can't be a heel by himself. He needs help.
But we're jumping all over the place.
We are.
That's all right.
It's okay.
We
We're
love
excited.
pro wrestling. And
We
we
are.
love shows like this that give us what
Absolutely.
we want to see. I saw a lot of shit on Twitter. I wanted to bring this up. I forgot to write this down on our little format there earlier. A lot of people shitting on the fans. If I was there, I would be enjoying the ticket I paid for, first of all.
Shitting on the fans from what, WrestleMania?
Both. For quote-unquote hijacking shows, going into business for themselves. And my whole point on this is, okay, so I guess the fans when Die Rocky Die started were assholes then.
Yeah. I mean,
I guess the ECW fans who spearheaded change were assholes. They were irrelevant.
the people that shit on the fans trying to, quote, hijack shows,
They're trying to be too cool for school.
I feel I'm totally in disagreement with that.
They're like a mark within a mark.
The fans make the fucking show, okay? If you don't like what they have to say, change the fucking channel.
You watch any match, and it could be what's rumored we'll get to later, Shaq and the Big Show, next year's WrestleMania. But if that crowd's into it, it makes it more tolerable to watch. You have fucking Neville and Rob Van Dam in a little dream flippy match, but if the crowd's dead, it's going to suck. That could be the
Absolutely.
best match in the world.
Crowd makes every match.
But my point on Twitter was, and I responded to this fucking douchebag, and you know who you are. Aubrey Sitterson, you're a douchebag. I don't care.
Not to
You know
point out
what?
names.
You pulled out the glove and slapped me in the face first. So if they're giving us something we want to see and it's worth investing time in, we're not going to fucking hijack the show. We're
No.
going to get into the show. But we're not getting that, so that's why we're throwing beach balls around, doing waves. That's why it's happening. It's
JBL
not
chants.
fucking rocket science.
Yeah.
Byron Saxton chants on this show.
I mean, you saw the Fatal 4-Way, you saw the crowd reaction, they loved it.
So now that that little tidbit's out of the way, anger alerts down. AJ Styles, there is no Extreme Rules, by the way. It's Payback.
It is Payback.
No Extreme Rules
No
anymore.
Extreme Rules this year. Not gonna say that I'm real sad about that. Never really saw the point in that with the ECW not even being mentioned.
It's PG, so what's
Yeah,
the point
what's
of
the point
an
of having-
ECW style paper?
You saw the hardcore style matches they had at WrestleMania, totally not hardcore at all. But next biggest highlight from Raw, Shane.
Well, before we get to that, let's just follow up on the Roman Reigns thing for the Raw thing.
Okay.
Did they turn Roman heel in your eyes?
I don't think so.
You don't
I think
think
they're
so?
trying to make him one of those in the middle kind of guys. They're trying to make him kind of. I think they're trying to do like reverse psychology. Like I don't care if you boo me because I'm Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not here to be a good guy.
Do you think that'll work to sway the fans? It's not going to work.
Absolutely not. It's not going to work till he's a heel.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. Roman has to be a heel. He's not a baby face right now. Maybe in the future when he's got a little more time under his belt. They rushed this guy. I mean, he's been around, what, 2-3 years?
There was no reason to rush him either.
Yeah, you could tell that this was due to a lot of injuries.
Well, at the time, there weren't the injuries there are now. But there's so many guys they could have gone with.
You know what he strikes me as? When I think about it a few years ago? Ryback. Remember when Ryback was over for those couple months?
I think there's more dollar signs, heel or face, in Roman Reigns than in
Yeah,
Ryback.
I'm just
anyway.
saying that's what this reminds me of when they were trying with Ryback. He had those couple months where he was a babyface, where he was the most over thing in the company, and then it all went south after one match.
But the difference is it's like they recognized it right away
Yeah.
and they de-pushed him in like 2 months.
Absolutely.
It's like with this, they're so stubborn.
Yeah,
Is it because he's The Rock's cousin and Vince and The Rock are tight?
I don't think so.
I mean, The Rock is the biggest movie star in the world, and that's always
Yeah.
business when he shows up.
But I don't think The Rock has
knows?
anything to do with this. When it comes to Vince, Vince does what he wants, no matter who feels differently about it, including us. As you can see from what we're getting on television, I think they just kind of got backed into a corner with this one, with Roman Reigns, to where they were pushing him so much they had no choice but to put him over at WrestleMania. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of ways they could have gone to WrestleMania.
To not put him over would have just looked like a total audible at the last second.
True.
Um,
Well, it's going to be very interesting in the next couple weeks, and
I don't
it's
see
in
him
Chicago
I don't see him holding on to that belt very long as a babyface, to be honest with you.
as a babyface.
So
I can see him if they turn him, if this is en route to the heel, which I
Yes.
think it's going to be. I think they are going to do that. I can see him holding it to at least SummerSlam.
okay, unless they want to do that babyface angle, like I said before with the Wyatts, maybe that brings back the Shield, perhaps with Dean Ambrose.
This big rumor going around.
There's a
that
bunch
you
of big.
informed me
We'll get
of.
to that later, but I mean,
Yeah.
there's a couple different scenarios where I can see him turning heel, or at least turning badass if it's not heel
Yeah.
like they were before. I don't know if the Shield was really heels before at the end of their run. I think they were just
At the
more-
end, they were babyface.
Yeah,
definitely.
they were more babyface badasses.
Oh, they're yeah. Well, the reaction when we were live for the Shield was they headlined the
Yeah,
show.
they
And
were
they
all over the
powerbombed
show.
Fandango off the
Powerbombed
stage.
everybody.
Place exploded.
Yeah, they
in
killed
Hershey,
everybody.
Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Well, let's move on to Raw, Michael.
Next,
What's next?
biggest segment on Raw, Shane takes over. So my first question to you on this angle is, the fuck was the point of WrestleMania?
I knew you were gonna. That's what I was gonna say. This was stupid, but if it got us to where we got on the show, whatever. I think that this was for one night. So I mean, I guess Shane's done, or is he going to be back this week?
I haven't heard anything about it, but my whole thought, what the fuck was the relevance of him going against the Undertaker then? The Undertaker's
Well.
gone. He's not going to be around for a while.
And the audience aren't even thinking like
Yeah.
we are. Live, they were eating this shit
yeah,
up.
like, but what the
I guess-
fuck's the point of the booking?
This was really bad. This
Yeah,
was bad. Long-term booking, short-term. It just made no sense.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Fine, damn it, I'm out of here.
Maybe if it
That's
was,
literally what
if
happened.
it was to give Triple H a rest for a week or whatnot, him and Stephanie.
But
Did we see any of them on this show? I didn't see any of them on this show. No authority.
who knows what they're
So
thinking.
I don't know what they're planning on doing with them, but
But
like-
Shane being in control
yeah,
led to,
the Fatal 4-Way match.
and also a couple debuts.
Absolutely. We're going to go over those next as well. Our first debut of the evening, tag team.
Well, that was actually, I think they were the last one. To show
Oh, they
up.
were the
Well,
last
we can
one,
talk
sorry.
about them first because that was the best.
My biggest, I guess it's my favorite debut. Enzo and Big Cass making their debut.
Very long overdue. I've seen a lot of these guys in NXT. They're great. I'm going to say this right now. I said this to somebody on Twitter. Frost, I believe that was you, my friend. This era's New Age Outlaws. I'm calling it.
You think so?
I think so. They have the mic skills. Big Cass is like, he's like a giant Edge, and he looks like Edge and Test had a baby, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's freaking huge, man.
My whole problem with them, and it's a small one, is their promos just seem a little bit all over the place for me.
Yeah.
If you ever think about them when they're doing their promos, I mean they're okay, but it's kind of like what
I think
they keep bouncing around like
I think they're doing that to stand out. I think that's on purpose.
Maybe.
For now, it might
Yeah.
fade back a little bit. But great reaction to the Dudley Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Not for the Dudley Boys, sorry. They were cutting a promo on the Dudley Boys, so that sets up a match, probably a payback.
hopefully.
Great to see him on the main roster. So, and the Vaudevillains are debuting on SmackDown tomorrow night.
What would you like to see from Enzo and Big Cass?
I'd like to see the belts on them. I would have liked to see the
Even
belts.
against New Day. As over as New Day is
I
right
don't
now.
think I don't think they're dumb enough to book two teams that over when they want to get these. I don't think they book that.
Maybe a SummerSlam match.
The New Day and Big Cass and I
It's
don't
only a few months away.
I don't book that. If I'm booking and I want to get everyone over and make shit like make sense, I don't put those two teams anywhere fucking near each other. Now maybe a Survivor Series or a skit as rivals, even as like a friendly face to face. Sometimes you just don't test the waters. Does that make sense?
But if you want to make your show top to bottom intriguing, how do you not have these two teams go against each other? It's like what
one
they
of
did.
them would have to turn heel,
The problem with
but you wouldn't do that. And if I got the book,
I don't think either one has to turn heel for it to be entertaining. My whole thought process on this is if you wait too long, you end up with a rushed product like they did with the Shield and the Wyatts when they wasted it for the show before WrestleMania. Instead of having that at WrestleMania, they were like, "Oh, we got to get this in." Yeah.
but see, I think that's a case of what do you remember about that Elimination Chamber pay-per-view?
Nothing.
The only reason I even know that that's Elimination Chamber is because of that match.
Yes. So
So-
why waste it there? That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna put
Well, it
that
wasn't a
match-
waste then if that's why you remember that paper. It's all about money to them.
Yes.
Every show matters.
But I just felt like that could have been done either sooner or at WrestleMania.
It
I feel
could have,
like,
yeah.
I feel like they
definitely.
missed. I feel like they missed the boat entirely with that feud.
I guess I'm playing devil's advocate and I'm seeing where they're going
Yeah.
with their wallet. I totally agree with you. Everything should be on the grandest stage.
That's what I'm saying. SummerSlam or WrestleMania. Those
But
are
I'm
the two biggest
saying
pay-per-views.
you got like look back in the day. Well, it worked with Austin and Rock, but they're just natural fucking rivals.
Yeah.
You don't even know if Enzo and Cass and New Day would click. It
Mhm.
could be bad. You could test it on a house show,
Yeah.
definitely. But
I would just
I
like
wouldn't
to
put two teams babyface if they're both babyface anywhere fucking near each other as rivals.
I think you have to eventually. If you want to draw money, I think you have to.
Well, we'll agree
Personally.
to this. You can go down with WCW. And
I
I'll
think
go-
that has to be. If you don't want to put it so soon, I think save it for WrestleMania. But if you really want to test those waters, do it at SummerSlam.
Well, either way, I think the Dudleys are a great team for them to start out with Enzo and
Yeah,
Cass.
absolutely.
True
See what
veterans
they
on
have.
the roster.
Yeah.
With the most decorated team, which is weird to say because you would think the Road Warriors.
If you want to take the safe route with it, SummerSlam do like a Fatal 4 elimination tag
Yeah.
match
Oh, yeah.
with both of them.
I'm just meant like a one. Now,
Yeah.
if they're in like a I just kicked Michael in the foot because I got excited talking about the New Day. Because when I hear the New Day, I get excited because
He
they're one of
does.
the few things I get excited about anymore. But now, if you got them in multiple man match in the babyface, that's cool because they can mix it up.
You
They'll
have
get
that
the crowd.
Hogan and Warrior moment like they did in the Royal Rumble. They weren't necessarily going
Yes.
against each other.
Oh my! And
but
that
they were in-
crowd in '90,
Yes.
and I mean, you could go in the ring, fart, and do a horrible elbow drop, and that crowd
Uh-huh.
pop.
But
A moonsault back then was like, oh my god, I just came.
Fatal 4 elimination tag for the belts. You have them maybe cross paths in that match and just do a stare down. Maybe you have Big Cass and Big E fucking
Test it. Put your toes in it.
That'd be perfect. Big Cass and Big E just kind of staring down at each other like, "What's up, motherfucker?"
See, but that would be weird because Big E's really short for being a big guy.
Yeah.
Would they want to do that?
But they're both called Big.
Could
You
you
know?
just imagine the mic battles between Big E and Enzo Amore?
That would be
Good
awesome.
Lord.
But
If he's not all over the place.
don't sell Xavier Woods short either. He's a great
yeah.
mic talent.
I just think Big E's the best. And we talked about that on the post show, WrestleMania, which if you guys haven't heard is on Hibiki TMD. Quick plug, you can follow us on the Hibiki TMD at Twitter. Currently, before we get an official Slam Pigs Twitter, we're both procrastinating on it. It's all good. You guys still listen.
I'm in the
either way.
process of moving right now, guys.
We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
They
so-
know. If,
I mean,
if they
it's-
listened last week, they're definitely back this week because you guys are very loyal listeners and we love you guys. So.
It's going to happen this week. Should be done moving by the weekend, hopefully. And then I can really start working on some other things like the Facebook page.
It's all good.
But we are going to get there, guys. I promise you. Hopefully you guys come and visit us on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, like we know you're going to, like you have been.
I actually want to surprise you with something I know about Adam, who is Frost on Twitter.
Uh-huh.
Next week on the show, we're going to set up a video call, and he's going to be on the show live.
Frost is going to be live on the show.
Live
huh?
on the show on Facebook video call.
So what should I be looking forward to with this video call?
Just another host on the show,
All right. I
guest
see.
host.
Okay,
So,
cool.
Can't wait to have you
I'm
on here, buddy,
excited.
next week. So
But
he's ecstatic about it. He loves the show. He's our most loyal listener.
hey,
So,
thank you, Frost. I appreciate you. I know Travis
yeah.
does. But not to switch gears here, let's get into our next
Let's
debut.
get Raw out of the way here.
Our next debut, Apollo Crews.
Bobby Lashley with talent.
Bobby
Cruz.
Lashley with talent.
Nobody saw this coming.
Apollo Crews. He's got a great look. He's got a lot of great moves. Long-term success, where do you see him?
Heard a lot of people say he could be a future world champion.
Really?
I haven't heard enough of him on the mic, and what I have, I wasn't overly impressed. I think he's really gifted and athletic. I don't know. Let's see. I mean, he's had one match on the main roster. So
That's your thoughts on him?
great IC guy. Let's see where it goes.
And that's
I
what
like him.
that's what I was waiting for because I could not feel any more similar than that comment.
I figured you would feel the
IC
same
guy.
way.
I see him. IC.
Now, an elite IC guy, not one of these flash in the pan guys.
I think maybe he could bring the title some significance the way that maybe guys like Umaga did.
All right, this is the best, and I agree on the Umaga thing. This is the best I'll give Apollo Crews. He could be that IC guy that every now and then could be like a Rob Van Dam back in the day, where he was over enough to get booked for the title on like a B-level show, but would never win it.
Yeah. I see him more as like an Umaga guy. Bobby Lashley, like you said. If they still had ECW, I could see him being the ECW champ.
I think they had bigger plans for Lashley than they do for Apollo Crews.
But I still, if they can develop his mic skills, I think he could possibly be an upper echelon guy. I'd still see him as more of IC or possibly in a tag team.
And who would you tag him with? There's a lot of guys
You could tag him with a lot.
I tell you what, you could tag him with Neville, have him dress alike, give him a name.
You could have him with Neville.
That would be an amazing tag team.
Could have him with Titus
God
O'Neil.
knows that. Why would you have him with Titus O'Neil, Michael?
Mirror image.
Okay, I was just
They're both big, strong.
I don't like Titus O'Neil. I know it sucked what happened to him. I think he's horrible in the ring.
But I don't think he's horrible in the
Oh
ring.
God, man, he's just
Really?
awful. I can't do it. I've tried
I would like
because
to
he has charisma.
I think those two could maybe make a difference in the tag team division. I mean, you come up with a good name for them.
What'd you call him?
I don't know. I mean, give me some time. Maybe I could think about it. But you think about those two big, strong guys. I mean, they could do some damage.
Dark Harmony.
But why's it got to be dark, Travis?
I don't know.
Racist motherfucker.
Anyway, moving on.
But that's what I would do with Apollo Crews.
Definitely not racist, by the way.
But that concludes most of the debuts on the show. Maybe we'll get into some other stuff later.
Anything else happen on Raw?
Biggest
that we can cover?
Intercontinental Championship match.
Oh God!
The newly crowned Intercontinental Champion, Zack Ryder.
Called it on the post show. We didn't
Yep.
see this last one. Yeah, I think I said he's going to lose on the Raw after.
I think we both might have said it.
Yeah.
But
I'm so used to you calling the predictions, right?
we'll have to
Maybe
go
I was-
over it. I'm pretty sure I said it too.
Well, it's a Zack Ryder
but
prediction.
it was Zack Ryder going one-on-one with The Miz. Maurice makes an appearance.
And they addressed her as a real life wife of the Miz.
Zack Ryder's dad was also at ringside.
And she slapped the shit out of him.
Slapped the fuck out of Zack's dad.
Skull crushing finale from
Yep.
behind, and the Miz.
The Miz, your new Intercontinental Champion.
You happy about? I know you're a Miz
Travis
guy.
was sick, but I've always been a pretty big Miz fan. I think he's a very underrated worker. I think he's pretty good on the mic. I like him with the Intercontinental belt.
I'm gonna go throw up. No,
I definitely liked him. I like him as the Intercontinental Champ. I think he can carry the belt as far as work rate and on the mic. I think you can put him with a feud with a lot of the baby faces that are coming up, like Neville when he comes back from injury.
Apollo Crews.
Apollo Crews now.
We just said IC guy.
Yeah, but not yet.
Too soon.
Yeah, too soon.
Or is he one of those talents that you just
Dolph
you got?
Ziggler. I think he can work with Dolph Ziggler.
I love Dolph, but I don't want to see Dolph in the Miz for the IC belt again. I've seen it so many times.
Just saying, he could work with a lot of the baby faces.
And Dolph's getting up there in like Jericho reigns for the IC belt.
Sami Zayn maybe down the line.
Definitely. Who's not really injured, by the way.
No, we're gonna get to that later.
Let's get that one out of the way right
All
now,
right.
since we're talking about the Miz on
Okay.
fumes, running on fumes, talking about the Miz for Raw.
All right.
So yeah, the Miz is your new IC champ.
Miz, your new IC champ. They're supposed to have a rematch tomorrow night on SmackDown.
No spoiler. I haven't read the spoilers, but
No.
we don't do spoilers there.
We're not going to do the spoilers. I've read it. I'm not really sure if I remember it, to be honest with you. But they're going to have a rematch. Zack Ryder, The Miz. Hopefully they're going to drag that feud out a little longer. But
Hopefully not. I don't want to see that
Zack Ryder's a good worker, and so is The Miz. I like their match on Raw.
There's so much talent that just came up, and I don't know.
Yeah, but Zack Ryder's one of those talents that
It's
got
not
passed over.
2012 anymore.
I'm sorry, I like Zack Ryder. I'm just saying, as a worker,
I was happy for Zack Ryder.
I don't think he deserved a lot of the stuff he got
No, but
as far as being pushed away.
can you agree that his entrance music is atrocious?
Oh, it needs change.
Oh my
When your
God.
entrance music starts like that, it's kind of like, are we watching Rico?
How
again?
about change the Miz's up a little bit? It's
Yeah.
been what 5 years, something.
Well,
like
they did change the beginning up.
They put Riley back with the Miz. He's just hanging in limbo in NXT, waiting for
Yeah.
his future endeavors. Did you like Riley back in the day?
Liked his outfit.
Yeah, that's something you would have wore, wasn't it? I remember.
Absolutely.
I think you saying you
I
liked
could see
that.
me wearing some Alex Riley gear.
The varsity vest or whatever.
Yeah, I liked it. But
Sami Zayn's not really injured, guys.
He's not
It was
injured.
An angle.
That was
a lot
just
of
an
people
anger.
didn't know. I didn't know,
that was just to get Cesaro in the main event for his return.
and I was like, whew, because he just came back from
Yep,
injury.
you saw him grip his shoulder.
And once Vince starts thinking you're injury prone, you get the Ahmed Johnson treatment.
Or the Mr. Kennedy treatment.
I thought you were going to say Mr. USA Tony Atlas for some reason.
No. Why would I bring up Tony Atlas?
Why would you bring up
All
Kennedy?
he does is eat steak and do indie shows.
and do Legends House.
Yeah.
Well, that's Raw.
That was Raw in a nutshell. We're going to take our first break.
Well, in
of
a
the evening.
nutshell, what did you think of the Raw after WrestleMania this year?
B minus. If I had to grade
I
it.
agree.
Because the Raw after WrestleMania has such high expectations. That's supposed to be the Raw that sets the bar for the new year. I didn't really feel like it set the bar.
I think it put building blocks in a little bit with some new guys.
That's why I
I
got in the B
think
category.
no, actually, I disagree because I think they're getting the ball rolling on Roman heel turn. I'm calling it on the show, like I said. I'll bet you $1 that Roman's going heel.
I'll bet you an olive.
God damn
For
you,
those of you who
Eric
don't
Young.
know, Travis hates green olives.
Speaking of Eric Young, here's a rumor I heard, by the way, before we officially close out Raw and go to our first break of the night. Bobby Roode, who was seen in NXT TakeOver in the crowd, which pretty much means he's signed to at least NXT.
Yep.
It's being heavily rumored since Wade Barrett was kicked out of the League of Nations on Raw, which is something that happened on the show, that he's going to be the new leader of the League of Nations because he's from Canada, Team Canada, Bobby Roode. So, oh man,
You excited?
it's a start, I guess.
I
I've
like-
been waiting so long for Bobby Roode to come up at this point. They could put him with fucking Finley.
I like
Okay.
I like me some Bobby Roode.
I love Bobby Roode.
I could definitely see him doing some damage. Hopefully they don't flounder with him like they did with a lot of those guys in the League of Nations.
It's
But-
been a complete. I mean, it was a joke to begin with. But Wade Barrett's on his way out.
There's just too many friggin' guys.
Yeah,
To be honest, even with all the people injured,
you got to start cutting bait.
they have so many people that they try to put on television.
Barrett's gave his notice. Rusev is disposable at this point. They have done so much damage to him. He's unfixable, in my opinion. So he's got to.
Sheamus, same thing.
It's time, Sheamus. Sorry.
What do you do with Sheamus?
I used to like Sheamus back in the days.
Yeah, I
the
mean,
Dizzle.
What do you do with him?
Nothing.
US
You let him
title, I don't
go
know,
because
but-
he's done there's nothing else he
Yeah,
can
I
do.
just don't know what you can do. It's just a matter. This is just a perfect example of them trying to push too many guys at once.
Now you could kickstart Del Rio at any time because I love Del Rio,
Del Rio,
but you got to put him in the right situation.
absolutely. I think you have to put him in a place where he can be that heel.
You got to bring that rich gimmick back.
Yep.
You got to bring Ricardo Rodriguez back.
Put him against somebody that's over as a babyface.
Because you're literally just letting him walk. Okay, you're Alberto Del Rio, and he's
put
just
him-
walking out doing nothing.
Put him against Kalisto, and Kalisto's not that over as a babyface.
He used to have a scarf, man.
Yeah.
A scarf.
Yeah.
And that was his strength.
Yep.
And they took that scarf.
Ricardo,
Well, his Ricardo, but his scarf. Man.
you think the strength was in the scarf?
Yeah.
I think it was in the Ricardo
I
Rodriguez.
think Ricardo Rodriguez knit scarves for Alberto Del Rio. So he lost both of those strengths. It's like The Undertaker in the urn and Paul Bearer. Then you got Biker Taker. Now you got Biker Del Rio, pretty much. So let's see what they do with Bobby Roode. I'm excited for Bobby Roode either way. But that was Raw.
That was Raw. We're going to go into our first break.
Well, I thought this year's Raw After Mania was good. What is your favorite Raw After Mania moment? Because mine is pretty sure what yours is.
Okay.
When Dolph cashed in on Alberto Del Rio, that building exploded and won the World Heavyweight title.
That was a big
Was
pop.
that your favorite
That was,
after
one of my,
Mania
that
Raw?
was definitely one of my favorite moments in the Raw after. I have to go back and watch a lot of them.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of moments.
Brock debuted,
Brock.
or came back, I should
Yeah.
say.
There's so many moments that you could go into, but yeah, that's definitely
That's a
one of
good
my
list. Maybe we should work on that for 1 week.
favorites. That might have to be in the list. But going into that, Raw has concluded. We're going to get into some other things later on, guys. We're going to go into some rumors for maybe next year's WrestleMania. We're going to go into some rumors for maybe later on this year in WWE. Also, we're going to get into our fan questions, guys. Also, our
Got a
match. Of the
couple.
week. We got a few this week. Also, our match of the week this week. It's your turn, Travis. And
Finally.
if you're good, we might even do another WrestleMania of the week.
If who's good?
If the listeners are good.
Did you clean your rooms?
Yeah,
Did you
that's
brush
good.
your little teeth? Because you're going to get a possible WrestleMania rundown if we don't go too long.
If we don't go too long, guys, we don't want to bore you. But firstly, let's have our first break. Enjoy this promo from James E. Cornette.
On the Slam Pigs podcast.
And having a phony match for a championship. I think it stinks. I think it's disgusting. I think nobody has any respect for wrestling anymore. Where is wrestling? Not sports entertainment, but wrestling. You know, just a couple of years ago, I left my home in Tennessee and I moved to Connecticut, which is like trading a Hawaiian vacation for a bed in a cancer ward, to come to work for the WWF full-time, the biggest wrestling promotion in the history of the planet. And I moved to Connecticut with snow on the ground 7 months out of the year, real estate prices that would make Donald Trump's hair stand on end, the rudest bunch of people I've ever seen where English is a second language and traffic jams at 4 o'clock in the morning, but I think that's okay because I'm with the biggest wrestling promotion of all time, the WWF. But over the last couple of years, I don't see any wrestling. They got some great wrestlers around here, but they don't have any time to wrestle because of all the falderall and the nonsense going on. You see, what the problem is the people running the two big promotions, one guy is a game show host wannabe from Minneapolis with phony teeth, phony hair, and a phony tan. And running the WWF, you got a whole office building full of Yankees from New York City that wouldn't know a wrestling match if it bit them. So they sit around all day listening to people on the internet, and the people on the internet wouldn't know a wrist lock from a wrist watch. I don't particularly care what some Yankee from New York City wants to see. I want to see wrestling matches with wrestlers. I want to see real old-fashioned wrestling. I want to see some people who have some respect for the traditions of the wrestling industry, have some respect for the sport of wrestling. I don't want to see sports entertainment and flying donkeys all around. I think it's garbage, I think it's insulting, and I think it's a shame to a fine sport like this. Down south where I come from, they know wrestling. They were brought up on it. They grew up on it, and they respect it. And I think it's about time that the promoters in the wrestling industry today recognize that wrestling fans watching a wrestling program want to see wrestlers wrestle. That's easy. It's not too hard to understand if you just think about it. But the problem is that nobody has any respect for tradition. Well, I got news for you. I got respect for tradition, and I've always been associated with real good old-fashioned wrestling, a sport of wrestling, not a circus sideshow, not a cartoon show. And if nobody else is going to bring some wrestling around here, then maybe it's going to be up to Jim Cornette. So that might be my New Year's resolution for 1998. I might bring some tradition, I might bring some real wrestling back and clear this whole mess out because I think it stinks. So there's my address, there's my opinion, there's my commentary. Do with it what you want. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, bah humbug, I'm out of here.
And we're back on the Slam Pigs podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed that promo from James E. Cornette.
Legend.
One
Should
of my
be in the
favorites.
Hall of Fame, but he's not on good terms, or will never be.
Probably never. He never shuts his mouth.
Man, the Midnight Express were a great tag team. Stan Lane and Bobby Eaton.
So many great tag teams that he managed. I mean, we're going to get into another one of those later tonight on our match of the week.
Oh, yeah.
But before then,
let's talk about something that isn't so great.
Let's go right back into it, guys. We're going to start with our rumors, okay, for this upcoming WrestleMania. One of the matches rumored for Orlando, Florida next year at WrestleMania 33, The Big Show going against Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, God.
Well, I was going to ask your thoughts, but I think we just got it there, Travis. Travis, not feeling real highly about
My
that?
thoughts are, get an extra toilet paper roll out because I need to take a massive shit upon hearing the news.
So you don't...
We're here to tell you guys about the news, as bad or good as it will be. We'll always let you guys. No, I'm saying.
Don't think it's going to be a technical masterpiece then?
Sure. No flying head scissors.
Can't be any worse than Big Show against Akabono in a fucking sumo match.
And a diaper up your ass match. That was awful. Just the vision.
That was
Horrible
really
vision in my head now. Thanks.
You're welcome. My question to everyone is, does anybody give a fuck about this match?
No.
Please, if you guys give a fuck, let us know. If you don't, let us know on Twitter, on HibickyTMD.
And don't troll us. Like, be for real.
Yeah, don't be trolling.
But
Trolling motherfuckers.
there's the rumored first match
That's
next year.
that's one of the rumored matches for
They're
next
gonna
year
be hanging
WrestleMania.
from the rafters for that one.
Yep, I'm excited for that one. So moving right along, we're going to go to another rumor that's been going around for a while. I know you thought this was going to happen at WrestleMania, Travis. The Bullet Club debuting. There's a rumor going around that this AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns feud could lead to the Bullet Club versus the Shield. Your thoughts on that, Travis?
The Bullet Club was backstage at Raw. Took a photo with Scott Hall on Twitter. I don't know if they were going to debut them. They called an audible that night. Who knows? But this supposed rumor of the Shield coming back and the Bullet Club, it's interesting. I think it could work. Well, it's very interesting to see how they get to that, though, is what it's going to be. They have to have an ace up their sleeve as far as booking. But hey, if that's the rumor, that's definitely something to get excited about. A lot more than a Roman Reigns babyface run. So.
Well, I know that their plans on this, as far as the rumor sheets went, I'm just going off the Bleacher Report here, guys, are that the Bullet Club are supposed to be playing the baby faces and the Shield are going to be the heels, which is what we all love them as. There's a lot of things that need to happen for this. First of all, Roman and Dean have to turn heel.
Yeah. Roman is pretty much a heel.
And Dean, I don't think it's going to take that much to turn him heel. To be honest with you, I think it'd just be one night he could turn heel.
Because he's so frustrated from all the losses, like you said earlier.
Absolutely. I think he could just be frustrated from all of his recent losses, including WrestleMania to Brock Lesnar. Tired of being second fiddle. Tired of maybe injustice, as they spoke of in the Shield.
Not Texas Justice.
No, we're not going to get into that because that'd be a whole show.
You don't want to see Texas Justice.
Y'all don't want to know about that Texas Justice, but perhaps...
Or Southern Justice, when the Godwins came back as the Mafia suits.
Perhaps this could lead to Ambrose feeling that there's a lot of injustice going on again and the Shield needs to return to take care of it, which I think the crowd would eat that shit up.
Oh, yeah.
I know we're big fans of the Shield. We always were.
And the Bullet Club.
And the Bullet Club. The Bullet Club, I think...
It's going to be very reminiscent of the Wyatts against the Shield, but more, in my opinion.
You think the Bullet Club could get over as baby faces?
If they're helping out fuck over Roman Reigns? Sure. Why not? Christ. Where's Zack Ryder at again? Let's get him in there.
Let's get him in the fucking Bullet Club.
Depends how you book him.
Yeah. I think they could get over. It's just going to take some work. Hopefully they have a plan for it and they don't just...
It's going to take some work, you're right, because Doc Gallows, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson, haven't seen that much of him. What I've seen, he's nothing that, like, jumps at me off the television. They're going to need some work to do.
Kind of like a Eric Rowan type guy.
They're going to have to be sidekicked with AJ Styles or Finn Balor, wherever they go with it.
Or both.
They're going to need the rub.
God, when's Balor going to get bumped up? That leads us to our
I
next...
thought it was coming Monday. I thought, if anything, when's Joe going to fucking get called
That's
up?
leading us to our next one.
Wait, AJ Styles debuts directly on the main roster. Joe sits in NXT for over almost a year.
Feel like he's being punished because of his physique?
I don't know. I don't know why. Doesn't make sense. He's tearing it up as much as AJ
because
Styles.
Maybe because he hurt Tyson Kidd.
That damn good reason, possibly would be.
Could be being punished there.
I want to apologize to you tonight. Every time I burp, I had bacon bits earlier tonight at dinner. And bacon bits kind of hang with you for a while.
Yeah, but bacon bits are delightful. Don't ever apologize about bacon.
Well, on the way out, it might not be as delicious.
I love bacon. It's not bothering me one bit. I love the smell of bacon, even out of your breath.
Alrighty.
But Samoa Joe...
Have you had bacon, the chocolate and the bacon stuff?
No.
It's really fucking good.
I don't ever want to mix those two.
Do you like chocolate pretzels?
Yes, but I don't
It's like that. It's like salty.
I don't want to mix those two. I feel like they should be separate.
I didn't either, but I did, and then
we're getting a little off topic, guys. Sorry,
good.
We're getting a little fat kid in here.
It's really good.
But
let us know if you guys like bacon wrapped chocolate. So.
If you do, that's gross. If you don't,
it's not olive gross.
But Samoa Joe, long overdue. What do you do with Samoa Joe if you bring him up? Who do you feud him with? If you're booking it.
If I'm booking it through Roman stays babyface, and they continue the mundane, boring bullshit that the crowd's gonna shit on like at WrestleMania. Triple H takes a few weeks off. He comes back with Joe as his hired gun to take Reigns out. That's where I'd go with Joe.
Okay.
As right now, where I think they're going with Reigns as a heel, man.
Who do you put Samoa Joe with?
Christ, that is... You bring Joe in as a face and you put him... Because you know he's going to get a pop. Somehow you get the belt back on Kevin Owens, Intercontinental match. You could have Joe and The Miz. Do you put Joe in IC? Do you put him in the World? Do you put him in just for like a big money match? Do you put him with Brock? Do you set him up? Could you imagine Joe and Brock at WrestleMania next year? That's a match I'd love to see.
My thing, to be honest, I think it's a great idea right now. I think it could work right now.
Let's hear it.
Because of the actual storyline that's going on right now.
Let's hear it.
Samoa Joe interferes in the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match at Payback.
Costs
Takes out AJ Styles.
Oh, so you have like a Samoan Mafia type
Yeah,
thing.
you renew that to
Put
TNA.
the Usos in there?
You renew that TNA rivalry.
Oh.
And you have...
The Tenay rivalries,
Yeah.
though. When you talk about the Tenays. That Shivani fucking mud pole match,
Sorry.
whatever they had.
I meant TNA. All right.
I don't want to shout out Mike Tenay.
Natty Bo's in the house. All right. You slur your words sometimes.
They're always... I feel like we should be sponsored by Natty Bo.
Natty Bo, you need to get on that shit because we drink a lot of
I'm
it.
going to tweet Natty Bo, and I'm going to let them know that we're a big advocate, like Paul Heyman is to Brock.
We drink a lot of your alcohol. You should definitely be sponsoring this. That's bullshit. But That's
But
how I would book it.
That's
Samoa
great.
Joe interferes
That's
in
way
that
better
match.
than what I came up with.
That's what I would like. I'd like to see him and AJ Styles renew that rivalry.
Yeah.
I think you bring Samoa Joe in as a heel.
I love the idea of adding on to that, though, is you put him with Roman and you
Yeah.
throw the Usos in, and you...
I like
Roman Empire, you call him the Roman
I
Empire.
always like Samoa Joe more as a heel. Just personal.
Joe's great either way.
I like him more as a heel going against that smaller baby face because he can have that match with the smaller baby face and tear the house down.
He was the killer. Remember when
Yes.
TNA was on demand?
When he was undefeated.
Like back on the direct TV old
Yes.
school shit
Yes.
in 05.
We had him on Comcast too.
You remember first seeing Samoa Joe when he was that heel you're
Yeah.
talking about in the X division?
He was that monster.
He was the hottest thing in wrestling,
Absolutely.
I think, when TNA meant something.
That's what you have to bring him in as far as I'm concerned. Bring him in that title match since he just lost in the title match to Finn Balor on NXT.
I'm with it.
I think you bring in Samoa Joe right then and there. But going off of that, the guy that won the NXT title match, Finn Balor. How do you debut him?
Well, first I think you should take a drink.
Sorry.
Clear your throat a little bit.
Got a little allergies.
That looked like it hurt. But I think, Jesus. This is actually hard when you sit down and think about how you... Because I don't fantasy book a lot. I don't... But yeah, bringing in Finn Balor, I think he's good to stand on his own. I think there's a lot of things you could do merchandise-wise, like we love to talk about what Vince looks at as the demon character. I think it makes more sense to put AJ Styles with the Bullet Club because, I don't know, he doesn't have as much charisma as Finn Balor. Is that what you would do? You just bring him as a solo act, as a babyface?
I think Finn Balor, if booked correctly, could be the next Daniel Bryan. To be honest with you, I feel like the crowd could get that much behind him.
I think he's beyond that. I think he's better than that. I see Sami Zayn as the next Daniel Bryan.
Really?
Yeah. I can see that. Not just because he has red hair, but...
I see Finn Balor as I feel like he could be booked as God, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, Daniel Bryan wasn't booked as God.
No, but I feel like Finn Balor could get over as a heel or a babyface. We haven't seen him as a heel in NXT.
He's got it. I've seen him as a heel in Japan with the Bullet Club, and it was all right. He's better as a babyface.
I think that would be a good swerve if they brought him in as a heel.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's going to be very interesting.
I mean, whether they want to do it with the Balor Club or the Bulletproof Balor Club or whatever they want to do.
Hate that name. Just keep it Balor Club. Do Balor Club versus Bullet Club, but who would be Balor's Bullet Club guys? I feel like that was a riddle or a tongue twister.
Yeah, I feel like
But you got Nakamura down there too now.
there's so many baby faces right now. I feel like we need more heels that are formidable.
Because you're going to have all these guys. You're going to have
Yeah.
Orton, Neville, all these guys come. Cesaro just came back.
Cena.
You're right.
Rollins comes back, everybody's going to want to cheer him. So, I mean, you got to have these heels. I feel like Finn Balor could be used as either, but I think coming into the WWE, I think you have him feud with... Who does he feud with? Just going off the top of my head here, guys.
As a heel?
Second. Yeah, give me a second.
Ziggler. No.
Too small.
Too low level.
Too small.
Sami Zayn.
I know it sounds bad
You have
because
him attack
we're
Sami
big.
Zayn
We're
and
big.
cost Sami Zayn a title match.
Yeah, but Sami Zayn can only feud with so many guys. He's already feuding with Kevin Owens right now.
Cesaro.
I mean, somebody that's over as a babyface right now.
How do you want to bump him on the card is the other question. Do you want to put him straight to the top? Do you see him as a top guy like you said you do? I do.
Absolutely.
Well, you put him up there then. You make an impact with him. You're not going to make an impact attacking the Miz for the Intercontinental
I'm
title.
just worried that with the WWE audience that he's not going to be put over as much as he should because of his small stature.
Look at Daniel Bryan. Look at Rey Mysterio. I don't think
Exactly. Look
Look
how
at
long
CM
it took.
Punk.
Look how long it took for them to be put over.
But we're there now where little guys get that main event. But I think he'll be fine.
Look at your champion right now. Has it really changed that much?
Rollins isn't a huge guy. Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan didn't get a push till the fans absolutely went almost in a riot.
Well, CM Punk was before that, and all he did was drop a quote-unquote pipe bomb, which that phrase I'm so sick of hearing. I don't know about you.
I don't think the WWE, I don't think it's changed that much.
Here's something we forgot to do that I actually like talking with you about.
Look at the guys that they just brought up.
You know more.
Baron Corbin.
There's one.
Apollo Crews.
Yeah.
Enzo and Cass. 3 out of those 4 guys. What do you think? Are they small guys? No.
Apollo
they're not.
Crews isn't. Are you talking tall? Or are you
I'm talking about stature-wise.
I think.
Look
Apollo
who they're
Crews is
bringing up.
Stocky, like a Big E.
Do you see like a trend here on who Vince is bringing up?
Is AJ Styles a big guy, and he's challenging for the title?
He was never in NXT. I'm talking about the NXT guys that are getting brung up.
Well, Neville was shit on. Sami Zayn, let's see what they do.
Hit or miss.
Hit or miss, sink or swim. Yeah, you're right.
That's what I'm saying right now. Has WWE really changed that much?
It's WWE.
It hasn't.
They always give
be
you
honest
that,
with
They
you.
always give you that glimmer of hope.
You get these guys that get brought up because of their stature. To be honest with you, does Baron Corbin do anything in NXT that made you think, oh, he needs to be brought up right now and win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal?
I think they're gonna actually. Well, you think they might future endeavor him? There's gonna be nothing like that with Cesaro. Maybe not future endeavor him, but I think this might be the start of it actually meaning something.
Just saying, what the fuck did that guy do to deserve to be brought up right now? He's mid-carding down in NXT.
It's not like he came up and won the world title. He won the Andre Battle Royal.
I'm just saying,
that was a filler match.
That was his debut at WrestleMania.
It's a horrible trophy with a giant Andre penis on it.
I don't understand.
No, I hear you.
Baron Corbin? I mean, sorry, Baron Corbin, if you're listening. I don't think you're a bad person, but as a worker,
If you're listening, well, whatever.
I don't understand what you did to deserve being brought up right now. You were kind of floundering mid-card on an NXT pay-per-view.
This sums everything up you just said. Braun Strowman came up on the main roster before Sami Zayn.
Absolutely.
That sums it up.
Austin Aries is down there right now.
Well, he's had one match. And he's really short. Like, I didn't even realize how short he was. I guess because he's always wrestling TNA guys. Yeah,
because Daniel Bryan's tall.
No, I'm just saying he's like Daniel Bryan as far as size.
Neville's like Daniel Bryan as far as stature. Maybe a little shorter.
Could this go into our first question of the week? Up from Frost, kicking it off.
Could go in.
It's pretty much.
Let's go ahead and do it.
What feels like it's in the same boat?
From Frost, our fave, Frost. He's always stuck by us from the beginning to right now.
I'm too sweet in you.
Too sweet and doing little Wolfpack kisses over here. What would we change about the current product? That's the question from Frost this week.
The question: what one thing
would
we changed? Because it would be everything, pretty much.
What would be the one big thing that you would change about the product right now, Travis?
Do you mind kicking this one off first?
You want me to kick it off?
I just need a little bit.
The one thing
I'm like, there's two, and I want to go with one. But
the one thing that I would change biggest about the product right now. Too much talking. That's the one thing I would change. Okay? I think, especially the opening segment, I would change the most. How many times do you come to Monday Night Raw on television and the opening segment is a 20-minute long promo by whomever?
Like 80% of the time.
Yeah. Is that what you would do with the product, Travis? Would you open it up with 20 minutes of talking? When it's a wrestling program.
Not every week. Here and there,
I think that's one thing that needs to be changed. Too much talking, especially at the beginning of the show. I think you need to kick that show off with a hell of a match. I think you could take 15 out of those 20 minutes and turn it into a great match.
It's like the current Raw is the only wrestling I've seen when the show goes live on the air at the beginning where they don't like show the announcers talking and running down what's going to happen. Do you ever notice that?
Yep.
They need to do that and then go into like take a little old school style and then go into a match or something.
Absolutely.
Run it down, maybe a backstage quick promo or something.
See if you really want to open it up with a promo, we'll let the announcers hype it up for you.
Set it up. That shit up.
Yeah, don't just come to a show and automatically somebody's music hits and you're like, oh, what are they coming out for?
Yeah.
And it goes on for way too long.
Well, no, it's more like every week. Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. It's the same fucking thing.
Do we really need 3 hours of Raw?
Man, that's what I think. That's what I was gonna say. You need to cut that shit back to 2 hours. That's my biggest thing I would change. Or the other one I was gonna go with. It's so obvious. This PG shit's got to go. You cannot have Hell in a Cell, Extreme Rules matches, and have referees running in, wiping off blood every 5 fucking seconds. It takes from the pace of the match, kills the fans. Those two things tied for me.
This is a
I kind of
wrestling.
cheated.
This is a wrestling show, okay?
It ain't ballet.
People bleed. Get over it.
It adds so much to a match. And I get, like, health regulations wise.
Yeah.
But
that's our first question of the week from our buddy Frost. That's what we would change. I know we went into more than one thing.
trust me, this could be a whole show.
Yes, Frost.
A two-parter.
Buddy, tell us what one thing you would change the most.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know in the
throw it
comment
back.
section. We will agree or disagree with you. Let us know, because we know that you know what you're talking about and you follow the show. You're a slam pig like we are.
We trudge through every week of Raw.
Let us know. All right?
Raw.
So, let's go into our next fan question of the
First
week.
time YouTube question.
First timer from Natasha Connor.
How's it going?
This is such a great question.
Thank you for your question, which is completely random, but right
Yes.
up our alley.
I love it. What Travis actually got me an action figure from this faction for one of my birthdays when I was a kid.
Can't believe you went there.
Yes, but her question to us,
Who was that figure?
Farouk. But we could have waited till I introduced it, Travis.
I was going to say, well, who would that make us think the faction
But-
is?
Who is our favorite Nation of Domination member of all time?
Oh, I love that
First
question.
of all, we're going to exclude The Rock. He doesn't count in
we
this.
came to an agreement that you got to exclude The Rock,
Yeah.
because that's not fair to anybody.
Can't use The Rock in this. He wasn't in there that long, and obviously, if we wanted to be cheap about it, my favorite's The Rock. Let's go from everybody else. I'm going to kick it off to you, Travis. Your favorite Nation member.
You better recognize that wobbly head son of a gun, D'Lo Brown.
He loves him some D'Lo.
He was over, man. Like when he was the European and the Intercontinental Champion at the same time. I liked him. The chest protector gimmick was great. I liked me some D'Lo. I would always pick him in WWF Warzone or Attitude for the 64 because he did. You remember his little leg drop? He did? Where he did the point.
Stands up, straight up, does the points, and bang.
And plus the sky high was a great fucking move.
Yeah, it's a great move
That's
unless
a
you're
great move on
Draws.
the trampoline. Ugh.
Unless you're Darren Drozdov, then you're paralyzed.
Ooh,
Great job, D'Lo.
you had to go there, didn't you?
You were
You had to
there.
ruin my little
You were there.
shout out. My one probably
Yep.
ever shout out to talk about D'Lo Brown.
Well, I know you were there when he made his return as well.
Accidents happen. I was there in like '08. That was also the same night I was there in DC for Raw when Mike Adamle was announced as the general manager of Raw. So I got great luck.
He loves him some Jeff Harvey.
Jeff Harvey.
Hardy.
But that's what I'd go with. I thought D'Lo was very underrated. So Michael, is it Savio Vega or Kama Mustafa?
I'm going to go with Farouk.
Really? First
Farouk.
black heavyweight champion, Ron Simmons.
Ron
Hell of a
Simmons.
man.
Gotta have me some Farouk.
All
If
man.
it wasn't for Farouk, there would be no Nation of Domination.
He's a scary man.
Farouk was the the patriarch of the Nation of Domination.
I
If
thought you
it
were going to
wasn't
say
for
the bread and
Farouk,
butter of the nation.
if it wasn't for Farouk, there would be no Nation. He had that great feud with Ahmed Johnson.
It was in the beginning. It was
I
all
thought
right.
it was a good feud.
That Rumble match
Yep.
where he put him through the table
Yep.
with the Pearl River.
He had that good feud with Ahmed Johnson.
And
Sorry.
then,
After that,
They
he
feuded
kind of
with,
got overshadowed.
well, there were different layers to the nation. Originally, it was who were those little white guys rapping from Memphis?
Oh,
PG-13.
yeah. I don't know what their names were. But
Awful.
terrible.
But you had Savio and you had Crush with
Yep.
dreads.
You had Crush with dreads. You had all kinds of people. You had
Anything
Clarence
with Crush
Mason.
involved, I'm a fan of.
Clarence Mason.
Clarence Mason.
Shout out to Clarence Mason.
Wherever you may be.
Yeah, Clarence. Great job, brother.
Hall of Fame.
Love you. You deserve to be in there.
Induct somebody at least.
Yeah,
Or
at
just sit in the
Christ.
crowd and they'll show you.
Damn, as Farouk would say.
Damn!
But that's my favorite Nation member.
Well, then you had Mark Henry Kama, who was Papa Shango
Yep.
and Godfather, just winning the Hall of Fame.
Natasha, let us know who your favorite Nation member was. Maybe it's somebody different.
Please.
Please let us know who you like the most.
Great question.
Comment on that.
I love that question.
That's probably one
For
of
our
my
first YouTube
Yes,
question.
that's a
Even
great-
if you're trolling us, I love it.
That's a great question. Thank you for that.
We got another one, don't we?
And on to our last question from our fans. It's another first timer, I believe.
Who's this one from? Katie?
Kim.
Kim Murray.
Kim Murray.
And this was a question that, like Frost's question, we were a little late getting to, but we had that post show, and that show was way too long.
This is one that we definitely needed to have some thought about.
I have two guys.
All right. Well, we're gonna kick it off to you first.
I went first last
We're gonna kick it off to you first because I'm not quite prepared for it.
You need some time for
and
this?
I want to make sure that your guys aren't my guys.
The question from Kim Murray, and thank you all for your questions this week. Make sure to send your questions next week to us on Twitter at TheHibickyTMD once again, or on Facebook. I got to get those plugs in, man. Sorry. That way they're just going to click.
Or on
go.
YouTube, guys.
Self-promotional horror, I am.
Yep.
Our favorite British wrestlers of all time.
Now, Kim, I wish you would have made it a little more specific if it was one wrestler or top three, something like that. But what we're going to do...
I don't think it matters.
What we're going to do right now is just off the top of our head, our favorite British wrestlers.
I love me, not as a person, but I love me some Dynamite Kid, ring work wise, and I love me some William Regal. My two favorite British wrestlers of all time. I didn't put Davey Boy in there because mic wise he never did anything for me, and I thought, I don't know, I just thought that Dynamite and Regal could have been a world champion.
Because Dynamite's mic skills were awesome,
but his work rate just outshines anything. Why you gotta do that?
Because you want to shit on Davey Boy for him.
I'm not shitting on Davey Boy. I just said that. I didn't say it. I just said it didn't do anything for me.
He didn't make your list because of his mic skills, but Dynamite's mic skills were awesome.
Well, and Davey's work rate towards the end, and he got injured in WCW on that fucking trap door. Remember?
Yep. For the Warrior.
You know.
Well, I can tell you for one thing right now, Davey Boy's on my list. One of my favorites.
It's fair. It's good.
I mean, you shit on my British Bulldog, and I shit on your
First of all, you jumped. I was answering my shit fair. I didn't even know he was on your list, and you're like, "Wait a minute, Davey Boy could talk." Blah blah blah.
Well, I
didn't know Dynamite was a scholar.
You want to go after the fucking mic skills?
You want to do it in a British accent?
Yeah, I didn't know Dynamite was such a great mic worker.
His ring work influenced so many guys, a whole generation of guys. As a person, he's a piece of shit. That's first and foremost, but.
I know this might. If I'm gonna pick another one,
can I finish?
Oh, go ahead.
You want to?
Go ahead.
You want to butt your little 2 cents in?
Go ahead, Dynamite.
I'm not even going to talk about Dynamite. I'm going to Regal.
All right, give me some Regal.
I think Dynamite's got enough credit for being a piece of shit. So great ring work, great Stampede matches with Brett, great matches. I love the British Bulldogs as a tag team. My favorite British tag team. Are you happy, Dave? You made one of my lists. Regal could have been a world champion in the right era. I think in like the 80s heyday. Good little NWA champion he could have been. I didn't say WWF, but he could have been more than... He was an old school guy in the 90s. That's how old school he is. So, take it away with your Davey Boy Smith. Is that all you got?
I love me some Davey, and I love me some Bad News Barrett.
Really?
Yep.
Oh. Don't you ever talk about my list.
Well,
of all time?
I'm sorry, but if you put Bad News Barrett back in that era, Dynamite Kid doesn't even exist.
Oh, I call bullshit.
No, you can call bullshit, but Bad News Barrett on a microphone takes out fucking Dynamite Kid.
Ooh. You're
takes
right.
out William Regal, too.
Well, we're talking overall, though. Of all time.
And Bad News Barrett can work.
Just put him on an all-time list.
Sorry. Bad News
Don't
Barrett
be sorry to
and
me.
Davey Boy.
Be sorry to Kim.
Kim?
For your answer.
Hope you like you some Bad News Barrett. That's my favorite Barrett. I don't like that King Barrett shit or that Nexus Barrett shit. I like me some Bad News.
They should have ran with that longer. I don't know. I mean, he got injured and then it just
him on a microphone.
They stopped the gimmick.
I thought he was great on the mic and he's good in the ring.
And now he's leaving.
Yeah, now he's leaving because they didn't do anything with him. Great job, WWE. That's another star that you failed to fucking capitalize on.
Great questions this week.
Yep.
I loved answering them.
That concludes our questions of the week, guys. I appreciate it.
We don't got to be so official, though. This concludes our questions. Just,
now we're gonna step on my toes when I'm trying to fucking bring the show into the next level.
Natty Bo is sponsoring us, and
I'm just saying. I thought we weren't stepping on toes.
We're running out of show here. Got to ruffle a few feathers to keep the fans entertained.
That hurts me.
I should say the listeners, because I don't have an ego enough to say anybody's a fan. It's weird.
We're
just two guys.
Definitely hurt me a little bit. I don't step on your toes when you're transitioning.
You
better give me a Wolfpack kiss.
Too sweet.
But just saying, that concludes our questions this week, guys. Keep sending them. I want a big list next week. I want at least 5 next week. Let us
Better
know.
make this guy happy or he might just spit.
Let us. I will spit all over your shit.
They called him Puddles for a reason.
Absolutely. Don't piss me off.
I got a question off the top of my head.
Jeff Jarrett reference.
Oh,
You're welcome.
thank you so much. I got a question off the top of your head.
All right.
What the fuck has taken so long for me to review this match? Our match of the week, Michael. It's finally here when we come back on Slam Pigs. But before we go for our second break of the night, what happened?
Go ahead.
What happened?
Go ahead.
You made a face.
I'm ready.
Was it because of this match?
No.
Well, I think we're gonna go watch the match because I think you need to watch it.
Well,
it's not long.
Before that, we need a famous promo from one of my favorites and Trav's favorites. We're going to go with the talented and one of the best workers of all time as far as my view goes,
Let's hear it.
Tully Blanchard.
Ronnie Garvin, I know you don't know what day of the week is, but it's Friday. It's Friday, May 23rd. Tully Blanchard just knocked you out. First time in your career. What do you have to say? You say, I what?
I quit.
I quit.
I
I
quit.
quit. I quit. Ronnie Garvin. I can't imagine. You know, you have to think of that thought morning, noon, and night. Every breath, every bite of food, every drink you have, Ronnie Garvin, every waking moment, every nightmare you have is you being carried out. And I'm the man that did it. James J. Dillon and I, Tully Blanchard Enterprises, Ronnie Garvin, and now you want to go tape fist. 10 3-minute rounds to separate the men from the boys. Well, Ronnie Garvin, are you sure? Are you truly and truly sure every time you look at that mirror, every morning, every night, convince yourself that you're really as tough and as bad as you are? Ronnie Garvin, are you sure at the Great American Bashes you want 10 3-minute rounds with me? Because, Ronnie Garvin, I am the only man on the face of this earth that has had you carried out of any arena from one end of the world to the other in professional wrestling. That's right, Ronnie Garvin. Do you want to walk that aisle and set foot back in the ring with the man that knocked out the Hands of Stone? Oh, the new name, what is it, James? Hands of Mush. Ordinary tape. Oh, that's right. No excuses. Ordinary tape. You know, him and Dusty Rhodes. Oh, yeah, every athlete uses this ordinary roller tape. Tried the big embarrassment, but the embarrassment backfired. And you want to get in the ring with me, the Bashes? That's fine with me, Garvin, because my hands will be taped up just like Sugar Ray's and Leonard's were. Ha-ha, Ronnie Garvin. Adios.
All right, fans, here we go.
That was Tully Blanchard, his second promo appearance on the show. I got a feeling he'll come up a couple more times.
I'm sorry, you got to have Tully. If you don't have Tully, you can just piss right off.
Another Jeff Jarrett reference you want to throw in and ruin my show?
Well, it pissed me off, but it might piss you off.
Well, it's time, like we said before the break. My match that I've been clamoring about for at least 2 weeks. Let's get it out of the way.
Where's it from?
It's from SummerSlam 1993. The Heavenly Bodies, Jimmy Del Rey and Dr. Tom Pritchard, managed by, who we heard earlier, Jim Cornette, against the WWF Tag Team Champions, Rick and Scott, the Steiner Brothers. Michael, you just recently saw the match for the first time. It's very embedded in my head. Just your quick overall impressions before I go in depth on the match.
Quick impressions for me, well-worked match. One of the better matches on that card. As far as the Heavenly Bodies go, this is one of our first impressions from them. I was impressed with them.
Was this their first appearance?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Don't quote me on that.
It might have been on like Super.
It could have been, but they definitely impressed me as far as their in-ring ability. Jim Cornette always entertains, but I had trouble really getting into this match because I never really believed that the Heavenly Bodies could win.
Yeah.
I think that was my biggest problem with this match. But I know it's one of your favorites. Tell us why, Travis.
I think that this was without a doubt the best match of SummerSlam 93, which isn't saying a lot, but this is one of the first moonsaults I ever saw in a WWF ring. From Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey, rest in peace, of all people.
That's a hairy fucking chest right there.
And with Jim Cornette, I've always thought they were kind of like a B-level Midnight Express. That's what they were going for. And it just isn't going to work on a WWF crowd. But before the match, we had the Steiner's mother and sister interviewed by Todd Pettingill. And it is definitely 93 by the fashion and the hair and overly tanned sister, I remember. Of the
God,
Steiners.
those were some mullets.
Good Lord. But then you had Todd saying, which one's mom and which one's sis? And then Bobby would say it on the mic, and I always remembered that. It was going back and forth. And Bobby Heenan on this whole show, the commentary is great. It's okay if they hear Papa Top on the show.
Natty Bow in the house.
We don't got to muffle it. It's all good. But it's comforting to hear.
Didn't want
that
to step on toes like you do.
thing. Oh, Jesus. Can I get to the match?
Yeah, get to the fucking match, would you?
But, yeah, so you had that little... And then you had the music hit of the Heavenly Bodies for the first time we ever got a glimpse, and to be honest, it's not very impressive. But still...
You think of Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey and you think of Tom Pritchard, you don't think of impressive bodies. Even though they're called the Heavenly Bodies, I have no idea why they're called that.
Jimmy Del Rey, I discovered, actually watching WWE Network, was a jobber in, like, NWA. You know what his name was? Jim Backlund, and he was billed as the brother of Bob Backlund. I swear to God. He had the whole amateur gimmick and everything.
Oh, that's awful.
He was a straight-up jobber.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah. But he kind of looked like Bobby, didn't he?
Can I ask you a question? If you're booking this tag team, why the fuck would you call them the Heavenly Bodies? What is heavenly about their fucking bodies?
Maybe that was the whole rib. Maybe that was the... Maybe because they were heels, they thought their bodies were great, and that's what made
That was their name in
them
Smoky
even more.
Mountain.
Yeah. They carried Smoky Mountain for what that's worth. But, yeah, so... Heavenly Bodies come out. Jim Cornette cuts a great little promo. Dr. Tom always threw it to Jim Cornette. Here come the Steiners, and this SummerSlam is in Detroit, Michigan, and the building exploded. The Steiner brothers were the tag team champions.
Hometown boys.
They won them on a house show, and they lost them on a house show. I don't think that's ever happened. And that's really weird, because you'd think they would have made a really big deal out of the Steiner
A
brothers.
lot of that happened because of contract issues.
Yeah?
They weren't paid what they were supposed to be paid by Vince, so they left. Their time in WWE was short-lived. That's why you saw their title win and loss. Well, at least their loss was on a house show on purpose because they were leaving. They didn't want to put them over too much because of the contractual issues. It's sad that Vince and the Steiners couldn't come to a long-term agreement because I feel like as far as the tag team division went, it really could have used the Steiners at that point.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the way it went.
God, who were the tag teams in 93? Head Shrinkers?
Who took it from? Who took it from the Steiners? Was it the
Money Inc.?
Quebecers, I think.
Oh,
Wasn't it?
God, yes.
Quebecers took the belts off of them from the house show.
Yeah, there were no tag teams, you're right.
But yeah,
Yeah,
they
Lord.
definitely could have used the Steiners back then.
But yeah, the building exploded for the Steiners. Great fucking match. I mean, you saw Frankensteiners. You saw moonsaults to the outside. You saw Jimmy Del Rey belly wiggles. You saw great outside interference. If you are getting into the business as a manager, you need to study Jim Cornette and Bobby Heenan.
You saw a little dirty play from the Heavenly Bodies,
Saw a
which
little
you
dirty pool.
had
That
to.
tennis racket.
Yep, got a tennis racket to the back. You thought that was maybe the end.
Scott Steiner. Go ahead.
So you saw a little tease finish there. Didn't happen. Made you feel like, oh, cool. This match is keeping me on the edge of my seat. I like this match. To be honest with you guys, I watched it for the first time the other week with Travis. I see what he's talking about as far as execution. I didn't see any botches in this match.
And I see what you're talking about as going into it not expecting the Heavenly Bodies to win.
Yeah.
That's not why I love the match.
They weren't really built up to win.
It's just the match. It's
Yeah.
great fucking old school tag team wrestling.
Absolutely.
The Heavenly Bodies are really underrated, and I think they could have been more, honestly. I don't know what happened. I don't know why the tires went out.
I think just because of their look.
Maybe
be
there was a
honest
drug
with you.
issue.
Well, I don't know about that, but I think it was definitely probably more due to their look.
Yeah.
I don't think either one of them struck you as a champion just because of their look.
Why? I think the main reason I love this match has the nastiest looking Frankensteiner I think I've ever seen.
That was a spike. Yep.
Oh yeah, he
I liked it.
crushed him.
Yep. And
Scott Steiner's Frankensteiner was so good. He snapped that shit, and then he bulked up from steroids, and then he was a shell of how he used
well,
to
he
be.
was already huge.
But he could work so
Yeah.
good. But
Once-
that's my match of the week. Sorry, did you want to put a little
No, go
Scott
ahead.
Steiner on there?
No,
We got plenty of show left. If you want to bring us some Steiner, we could talk about some Steiner.
no, we're not going to talk about some Steiner because we're going to get into a WrestleMania of the week this week.
Are we?
We are. We got time, guys. It's been a short show this week. I feel like there's a WrestleMania of the week that needs to happen.
Well, that was my match. What did you think?
I liked
Did I
it.
do good? Well,
Like I said,
you put me on the spot that 1 week, so I've been waiting to do this. Next week, your retro Slam Pigs match of the week. Michael, what do you got up your sleeve?
ooh,
It could be any era. Could be any match.
it's a toughie. But what I'm going to go with.
You know, get up, get down. A little Coolio.
Had to get a little Coolio. Shout out to Coolio.
Whatever pops in your head.
Worms on your head.
That's basically what I did with that Heavenly Bodies match. It just came to me, I remember.
My match of the week is going to be from WrestleMania 8.
Ooh, underrated WrestleMania. And what do you got on there?
I got me some Bret the Hitman Hart, of course,
It's a good one.
against Roddy Piper
Late and great.
for the
Roddy
Intercontinental
Good
Championship.
pick. Good
That's
pick.
going to be my match of the week next week, guys. So
Roddy
make sure,
Piper's best match ever, I think.
so make sure you tune in for that shit because this was a great match. Maybe not the technically best match in the world, but this is one of my favorites, just nostalgia-wise and the time in which it happened. This is like we were talking about when you put those two baby faces together that maybe you wanted to keep apart. You finally put them together and magic happened.
Yeah.
So that would be my match of the week. But we're going to put you on the spot there, big fella.
I'm getting goosebumps. I
Your
already know what's
WrestleMania.
coming.
Your WrestleMania of the week, Travis. What's it going to be?
If we're going to play the top of the head game, I'm going to go WrestleMania 14.
All right, we're going to have that when we come back. But first, we're going to have a promo from...
Is it my turn?
It is your turn.
This is just we're just winging it.
We're winging.
After we get an hour in on the show, it's pretty much top of the head, tip of the tongue, teeth, and
Yep.
lips.
We like it.
Sheiky baby, the Iron Sheik.
When we come
Slam
back-
Pigs fucking podcast.
If I could prevail upon a former World's Wrestling Federation heavyweight champ to come on in and join me, Iron Sheik, it is going to be you one-on-one against Mike Rotundo.
Boston, Massachusetts. Mr. Mark Rotondo, you remind me one of that good-looking Italian people in the Boston, Massachusetts. I know you have a lot of support. I know all American boys, they're going to come see you. And I heard he's a, what do you call it, state champion of the Syracuse University, what do you call it?
Syracuse University, you're right there.
That's it. I know about your background already, read it in Tehran, Iran. I know all American patriots in the Boston, Massachusetts, behind you. They're gonna say USA, USA, whatever. But remember, Master Max Rotundo, how about the background of the Sheik from Tehran, Iran to Pan American game, AAU game, Olympics,
Heavyweight champion.
heavyweight champion.
Everything.
How about the world heavyweight belt?
That's what I said, the world's heavyweight champion, Sheik, please.
Max Rotundo, remember, you're wrestling with your master. You're wrestling with the Iron Sheik, world class, Olympic class, Boston, Massachusetts. I hope all your American people have enough gasoline or time to come to the Boston Garden. And then we're going to find out who is the
It is going to be the Iron Sheik meeting Mike Rotundo, Boston Garden, Saturday night, February the 2nd. Don't miss it, and we're right back.
And we're back on the Slam Pigs podcast, guys.
Last
Live. That was our last break. Live alongside Travis. I'm Mike. We're here on episode number 6. We're going to wrap this
Why you
mother-
get all quiet when you go, I'm Mike? You go, alongside Travis, I'm Mike. You ashamed of who you are?
Sorry. Alongside Travis, I'm Mike. Sorry.
Oh.
I got to get a little higher pitch for Travis.
Now you're 6 years old.
Just to be more acceptable, I guess. We're going to end this show off with a bang.
Be proud of who you are.
Not a DDP bang, but we're going to end it off with a WrestleMania bang. This week's WrestleMania of the week goes to Travis. Your choice for WrestleMania of the week, Travis.
Well, first off, I feel like the longer each show gets and the more Natty Bo sponsors us each week, the more we sound like two rednecks in the woods.
Well, that's probably,
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing. And
well, a lot of that probably goes to me, but can't help it, guys.
Anyway, just saying.
Thanks for pointing me out there.
No, I said us.
Yeah, whatever.
I said us.
Yeah, whatever.
Me too.
Pretty sure you were just kind of taking a poke at me, but you can pretty much fuck right off. So
No, I was doing it too. I
no,
was
don't try.
boo.
Don't try and save it there, Michael Cole.
WrestleMania 14, Michael.
Yep, we're going to WrestleMania 14 live
From Boston.
from Boston. BMAS.
This was 98, the kickstart of the Attitude Era. This was the big WrestleMania in their eyes at the time to get them where they needed to beat WCW. The big match going in, I'm going to start this one from the top. I'm going from top to bottom. I like to do that for some reason. I don't know why.
You like to be organized. I'm okay with
you don't
that.
have to sit through some like a Taka match review to get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
But this was a great Taka match. Taka Michinoku was on this WrestleMania.
Wasn't the first match, though.
No. And that's what it is.
So don't fuck up the order and just tell us about the WrestleMania, Travis.
Stone Cold Steve Austin versus the Heartbreak Kid Shawn
You
Michaels.
started off with the main event, are you?
And his last match for 4 years. You're not going to fuck up my format that I got going here.
Pardon me.
Do you have any Grey Poupon? No, I don't. I don't even have any mustard.
No, I don't have any of that poop.
But yeah, it was Shawn Michaels' last match for 4 years for the title. Austin's first title win. The match wasn't... I mean, Shawn was hurt. Mike Tyson was the enforcer. The build-up to this match was phenomenal. One of the best build-ups they've ever done. Sorry to smoke it in your face.
I'm used to it. Cool with it.
All right. What did you think of this match? The build-up, the whole Tyson, all of it.
The main event itself, I thought this was going to be a great match. It kind of underwhelmed me a little bit just because of how injured Shawn Michaels was. You look back at this match, you could tell that they definitely tried to protect him a little bit in this match. He took some high-impact spots, but they were definitely oversold a little bit. I guess that was to get Shawn Michaels a little bit of rest in this match. That makes more sense when you look back at it because of how injured his back was. But as far as all in all, I give the main event a B+. I think they did what they could.
For drama alone, carried it.
The thing that killed me the most was the finish because Mike Tyson, in my view, counted way too fast.
Way too fast.
Well, you didn't get that classic WrestleMania pop because he counted so fast. I mean, you got a pop,
It was delayed.
but it could have been a lot bigger pop if it wasn't done by Mike Tyson.
Crowd didn't know what to think of it.
Yeah, it was kind of like, oh
Plus, he
shit,
was-
it's over.
He was turning babyface
Yeah.
and counting way too fast at
Yeah.
the same time.
It was kind of like, oh shit, it's over. We should cheer. But it was
Tyson.
could have been way better than it was.
Hall of Famer, Mike.
Yeah, it could have been done a lot better, but that's how they chose to do it.
Austin wasn't the healthiest either.
No, but Mike Tyson fucked up everything. Fuck you, Mike Tyson. Don't ever want you on my show.
Why would he come on our show?
Well, I'm just saying, if he ever decided to, if he was ever a slam pig, he could fuck right off.
Well,
You ruined
He
my
would never-
WrestleMania, you fuck.
he would never be... Would you say this ruined the WrestleMania?
He ruined my main event.
Oh, so that ruins the whole show.
Well, it didn't ruin the whole show, but...
The host show? Well, how do you ruin the host show?
Oh, let's just fucking correct me
Let's
on...
just give them all penises.
On
That's a good way
every
to ruin it.
alcoholic mistake that I make on this show, let's have Travis there for the bloopers.
Well,
Jesus Christ.
you want to heal on me? I'll
Yeah.
fire a Gorilla Monsoon right back at
Well,
you. Because he always got the last say.
Well, let's have a
He
little
kicked
poll.
Bobby out of Raw for good.
Let's have a little poll, folks. Who do you like more, Travis or me? We're going to have that on Twitter,
Wow.
on Facebook,
I'm
on
offended
YouTube.
you even asked that.
Well, it's going to happen.
They love us both the same.
Well, they don't love us both the same. I don't love you the
Fine,
same.
I will put the poll
You-
up because
yeah.
you can put polls up on Twitter.
Yeah,
I'll
put
do
it
it in the
up.
morning.
Put it up.
I'll put it up right after the show.
You
I gotta
better.
get a hop on the old laptop here.
Yep, you better.
It was something I noticed. Guys, I use a little cheat sheet sometimes, especially for the WrestleMania rundowns. I could tell you every single participant in the Jobber Battle Royal if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. Let's just say that
God.
Ricky Morton and Pierre from the Quebecers were on this WrestleMania. But that was the main event.
Congratulations, you made it.
I totally agree with what you said about the main, on point with what I was going to say. So we'll call a spade. The Undertaker and Kane meeting for the first time ever. Another case of the build-up and the drama made the match passable. It was a good big man match. One of the better big man matches at WrestleMania of all time. All time. There are matches after this, not so much, because the balloon was off the rose. You saw it. You know, I liked the match. I love the build-up like we established. What do you think?
Give this match a B-, and that's being generous.
Loving those bees.
Well, just to be generous to Undertaker,
I think it's fair grade.
I gave it a B minus. I didn't think there was a whole lot of botching in the match, but there was some things that first of all, the tombstones by the Undertaker to Kane were very, very sloppy.
But in his defense, it's not like he was picking up Juventud Guerrera. He was picking up Kane in his prime, who was a tank.
It looked like the Undertaker was picking up 1,500 pounds when he was doing these fucking
I don't know
tombstones.
I was waiting on what you would come up
I
with.
mean, Jesus
He just
Christ.
went with straight up pounds. Oh, okay.
These tombstones felt like the Undertaker was going to give himself a hernia. Because
Probably did.
he picked this guy up and you could tell if he was like, "Ugh."
It looked like
it was sloppy.
Strange's asshole.
It was definitely sloppy, but the rest of the match I thought was pretty good.
You know who doesn't get talked about enough in this feud? Paul Bear.
Paul Bear
Great heel promos.
he sold this match very well. He definitely helped Kane straight to hell. Yeah, he definitely made Kane seem indestructible. Pardon me, Natty
Slippy.
Bell had a couple, but my thing with this is if you're gonna finish the match like that, why does Kane have to kick out right after it's over?
Yeah.
I hated that. Same thing with Hogan at WrestleMania 6.
Let's keep the feud going, I guess.
I-
well, Hogan's was like a Hogan move.
Yeah,
That's a little bit different.
Like,
Maybe-
Warrior pinned you clean, but you have to make it seem like it was close.
In this case, I can see someone backstage, like a Vince or an agent at the time, telling him, hey, you got to kick out right away because this got a feud to the Inferno match a month later. It's got to keep going. So you got to
Which
look
was awful.
strong. It's pretty bad. Has there ever been
Did Kane win any of these?
Has there ever been a good Inferno match?
I'm just saying, did Kane win any of these feud matches with The Undertaker?
Oh, no. Never. Up until WrestleMania 20?
Mm-hmm.
No. It wasn't meant for Kane to win the feud. You know?
I'm glad we're just feeding people.
I would say this is their best match, their first one. Which isn't saying.
I disagree.
What do you
but
think is their best match?
I thought their best match was probably 20, just because they'd worked with each other a lot more by then, and it
Yeah.
wasn't so sloppy.
Yeah.
But
20 wasn't. I'm not.
It wasn't a
you're
great-
a fan. I'm not a big fan of 20.
I'm not a big fan of the WrestleMania as a whole, but as far as their matches went, that would probably be their best. But on to the next one.
Tag team titles: Cactus Jack and Terry Funk, Chainsaw Charlie, in a dumpster match versus the champions at the time. One of the most. I don't know. I don't want to say overlooked. I don't feel like they get brought up in the conversation a lot.
The New Age Outlaws.
The New Age Outlaws. The Road Dogg.
you didn't know?
Road Dogg and Billy Gunn.
Yep. So, tell us about this match.
It was pretty brutal. So, of course, Foley at WrestleMania is going to kill himself. Did a flip off the apron onto the dumpster.
Same thing with Terry Funk. Terry Funk's going to kill himself.
Terry Funk and Billy Gunn, off of a ladder, pushed into the dumpster on the outside. Looked like it hurt like shit. But the finish to the match, they brawled to the back, I remember, and they were pinned with a forklift. The Outlaws were pinned by Cactus and Terry Funk, new tag team champions. But the next night on Raw was the birth of the new DX in the cage match, remember?
We're not talking about that.
What that springboard's into,
Okay.
is all I'm saying. But do you remember? Is what I'm
Yes,
saying.
I remember.
We'll keep up a little bit there.
I'm keeping up, but...
Tell Natty Bo
Let's-
to stop
can't-
blowing your phone up.
Can't we just give Cactus Jack and fucking Terry Funk their due?
Yeah.
Why do we gotta make their title reign seem like shit?
I love this match for what it is.
They won the titles. At
Why are you-
WrestleMania.
I feel like you're a little upset about this
Well,
match.
I'm upset because you're just fucking throwing it off like, oh, they won the titles, but they lost it the next day. You know, we gotta get those
Well,
belts off of them.
I'm used to
I
talking
feel like
about
you're
Zack
pulling Zack
Ryder,
Ryder on me.
earlier, so.
Yeah.
Well, what did you
Send
think
Zack
about
Ryder.
the match then,
This is
Mike,
two
today?
legends.
Come on, Professor.
I liked the match. I thought top to bottom, this match was probably, if not the best match on the card, one of the top two.
It was good.
I mean, it wasn't a technical masterpiece, but I thought it told a great story, and I was happy with the outcome. I thought that Mick Foley and Terry Funk deserved it.
Oh, yeah.
I wish they would have held it longer.
Those two guys deserve fucking a
But
van full of strippers with heroin-laced cake or whatever.
yeah, they deserve an early death.
Well, let's go into something, in my opinion, that doesn't deserve much praise. The Intercontinental title, The Rock, Nation Rock, with the Nation on the outside.
This is sorry, this doesn't fall into our question earlier. This isn't one of our Nation members.
Oh,
This
yeah,
is
yeah,
Nation
yeah.
Rock
Had to
going
think for a
against
second.
the other Rock, Ken Shamrock, the indestructible Ken Shamrock at this time. Yeah, made you want to fucking shit your pants.
This match was the shits.
Guess who goes over clean, guys?
Ken Shamrock.
Ken Shamrock with the ankle lock makes the Rock tap out at WrestleMania.
But talk about stupid booking. Here's a big case of it. The whole match was, I don't know. The Intercontinental title at this time did not really mean a lot. I mean, I guess it did,
Yeah,
but
the Rock holding it.
very bland. The Rock wasn't The Rock yet. The Rock was transitioning.
Well, a year later, he's the man.
But he was just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a Shamrock fan. I thought he was horrible on the mic. He's actually really small compared to a lot of guys, if you notice that.
Not a real tall guy.
No.
He's only about 5'11", 6 foot.
I see what they were trying to do, but he wasn't meant to be the guy. Not even an IC guy.
But
They reversed the decision because Shamrock just kept attacking him. He beat him up with instruments from the band that played the horrible national anthem that the crowd booed. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Because he did a weird rock version of it. So you really seem like you're upset at talking about this WrestleMania.
No,
You feel really agitated about every match.
Just saying, Ken Shamrock goes over. He's your new Intercontinental Champ.
Well, Ken Shamrock does agitate me, so if that's
That'd
the
be
case,
enough to piss anybody off.
mixed tag, first one since WrestleMania 6. That's like the fourth time we brought up 6. There's a good one to cover.
It's going to be on there eventually.
I already know what you're going to cover, but Mark Mero, marvelous in the boxer gimmick with Sable. Sable's first ever match against Luna Vachon and who?
Goldie.
The artist,
Formerly
known
known
as
Goldust.
You take this one off. Do you remember the build up to this match?
I don't remember much
the
about
whole
this.
two insecure guys and their women were stealing.
Yeah, but
It was weird.
I'm always a big Luna fan.
It was an excuse to get tits on the card.
might sound bad, but I was always a big Luna fan.
Should be in the Hall of Fame.
Thought she was a great worker.
Rumors that I hear like every year she's going in.
She better be, because if she's not in there soon, I'm going to get pissed off. But you have Luna in there and Goldust, both of them real good workers, against Mark Mero, who has to be led by a string because he's a fucking idiot. And Sable, who needs
like
to
a
be
kitty
led,
cat.
who needs to be led by a string because she's a fucking idiot with tits.
At least she has tits going.
This is a case of two great workers in there with two people. Well, Mark Mero could work as long as his partner in the ring told him the right thing to do, because Mark Mero could never,
because Johnny B. Bad
ever-
versus Van Hammer was the shits.
Mark Mero could never ever lead a match the right way. Anytime you put Mark Mero in control of a match, it just turned into a big shitstorm.
Didn't Brett say Mark Mero, like in his book or something, when he only knew how to be Johnny B. Bad? He never learned how
It
to
wasn't
do
even about it. It was that Mark Mero didn't know how to be a ring general.
Yeah,
Mark Mero had to be
led.
Yes.
Like kitty cat on a string.
absolutely. That's Mark Mero's
He was-
problem.
he
Mark
was a
Mero could do
wild
anything.
man.
Mark Mero could do a lot of things in the ring. Very talented. Don't get me wrong,
He
but
could flip and
as far as a mind for the business,
Hey,
Mark Mero was a fucking retard.
the TKO was a revolutionary move. Remember seeing that for the first
Yeah.
time? Like, what? But
What was that?
the problem
what?
was Mark Mero used the move.
Yeah.
So, like, you know.
So it was kind of wasted.
Hey, imagine The Rock coming up with that move at the time, plus what he already had.
Yeah.
Oh, good lord. But, you don't
It
see that
didn't
move now
happen
for
that
a
way,
reason.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
Sable gets the
clean win.
Sable bomb.
Yeah.
Good way to get tits on the card, like I said.
Great job, Tits.
It's a fun little match to watch, strictly because Goldust and Luna were so good at what they did.
Mm-hmm.
And God bless Luna Vachon. Miss Luna. And Mad Dog Vachon. Both gone. Triple H versus Owen Hart for the European title. China and handcuffed to Slaughter on the outside. Remember the boot camp match before this?
Yep.
It was a horrible match. It in your house.
Wasn't great, but this match definitely made up for it as far as I went.
The debut of the crotch chop fireworks.
Yep.
I remember the first
It
time.
was the first time you ever saw that. This match, probably as far as I go, as far as wrestling goes, this is the best match on the card.
Think?
I think so.
Huh.
This as wrestling
It was
goes,
good.
thought they told a good story. As far as Triple H and Owen Hart go, I mean, Owen Hart, you're not going to get botchy. Triple H with Owen Hart, if I wish I knew now that they were going to have that match back then, because I'd have been super excited about, oh my God, this is going to be a good match.
Yeah.
Back then, of course, we were young, and it was just another match on the card. But looking back at it now, this match was a great match. I think this could be a candidate of a match of the week later on in our shows. I don't think it gets enough credit for how good it was.
Even China did good in the
Yes,
in the
I
heel
feel
run.
like
Slaughter did his part well.
I feel like the Triple H Owen Hart rivalry was good. It never gets talked about.
The shame about it, and like a month later, Owen was in the Nation.
Yeah.
Of all places.
Yeah.
Again, shout out to the Nation.
Horrible booking for Owen Hart, but Owen Hart, you knew what you were going to get from him. You were going to get good mic work.
Yeah.
You were going to get great ring work. Triple H, the same thing.
Great match.
Yep. And I enjoyed it. Triple H goes over clean.
Retains the European
European title.
At this point, what did it mean?
A big bag of
We
nothing.
talked about D'Lo holding it. I
This-
kind of feel like he elevated it a little bit, not to bring up D'Lo again.
They
but then
tried-
it was shot right back
They
down.
tried to make this thing mean something with Shawn Michaels, and it just didn't work.
He was like the only top level guy to ever
He
hold that
forfeited it basically to Triple H.
belt. I think, didn't Crash Holly hold that belt probably?
So many people held this belt that
Probably.
didn't deserve to
I know
ever have
Test
a belt.
wrestled for it at
Yeah.
WrestleMania 17 with Eddie Guerrero. What does
Nobody,
that mean?
a lot of people that had this belt never deserved to wear a belt. That's the problem with it. That's why they got rid of it. But
In my opinion, ring-wise, the best match on the card, just as good, if not tied with that match, is the next match. Second match, the WWF Light Heavyweight title match. Of all matches, a retired title wasn't around long.
the big Taka fan.
Man, I'm telling you, you got to get into some Taka
You love you some Taka Michinoku Driver.
against Aguila.
Another guy that you never saw before that, but somehow made his way to WrestleMania.
I loved your first impression earlier. What'd you say when you first saw
He
him?
looked like a cheap man psychosis.
Exactly.
Poor
Yeah.
man.
This was a great match. Taka Michinoku retains. He was the hot cruiserweight at the
Okay,
time.
so when did you ever
Sorry,
remember?
light heavyweight.
When did you ever remember seeing Aguila on TV before that?
I don't. So
So he just magically got a title shot at WrestleMania.
I don't remember much of the lineage of the WWF light heavyweight.
So
champion.
basically, this was a guy that was put into this match so that Taka would have a good match with somebody that he could have a good match with.
Essentially, yes. So it is what it is. Great little match though.
Cheap booking,
I
great
think
match.
you need to give him more credit. I think you need to watch not just the highlights,
Well,
but the match.
I'm just saying, cheap booking, but great match.
Well, they opened the show. I remember the build-up when the New Age Outlaws, like a month before, they shaved off the Road Warriors mohawks or whatever and attacked them. Then they went away for a while. This was the Tag Team Battle Royal. The winners would face the Tag Team Champions at Unforgiven the next month, who were the New Age Outlaws. If your partner was eliminated, you were going with them.
Mm-hmm.
So the wrestlers in this match and the teams were Savio Vega, Sniper, Flash Funk, China. Oh, I'm sorry, Chains.
Hey, don't go through it fast. I'm gonna laugh.
Savio Vega, Sniper from the Truth Commission. Do you
Who the
remember
fuck is Sniper?
from the Truth Commission with Kurgan? Remember those guys?
God.
Flash, Funk.
I'm sorry.
Do I
man.
have to go in detail? with these guys?
we had a question about Flash, so he deserves his notoriety.
Chains. Who's Brian Lee, the fake Undertaker, representing the DOA?
Sorry, I want to laugh.
Man,
God.
he's come up a lot tonight. Downtown D'Lo Brown
Oh, D'Lo, your favorite Nation member.
with his partner Mark Henry. Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't naming the partners. Savio's was Miguel Perez. Snipers was Recon. Flash Funk's was Steve Blackman. Funk and Blackman. Chains was. Oh, this is interesting, and I'm glad we're just dragging the show out at this point, guys. So thanks for sticking around for Chains and Bradshaw,
Oh,
that red hot
God.
tag team.
JBL.
Pierre and Jacques, the Quebecers.
All right, they made a return.
Do you remember when they came back for a little bit in the Attitude
No,
Era? They were
I don't.
fat, and they had
No.
a ponytail.
Sure don't.
They had the singlet.
I'm glad I don't.
It was awful.
Yeah.
Kama Mustafa and Farouk, the other nation team.
All right.
Jose Estrada and Jesus Castillo of Los Boricuas.
Los Boricuas.
Get your lighters out.
Yes.
It's time for that Ricky Morton Fire and Robert Gibson, the Rock and Roll Express.
All right, they made an appearance.
Rasher and Mosh, the Headbangers.
The Headbangers, one of the
what'd you
tag
think about
teams
the-
that get forgotten about that era.
Let's pause for a second. What do you think about the
Let's talk
Headbangers?
about the
Because I ever
Headbangers.
doubt they'll ever be brought up again
Yeah.
on this show.
The Headbangers were one of those tag teams that they held the belts. They never got any notoriety.
Well, they held belts.
Yeah. Well,
Well, they're notarized. They're on the network.
yeah.
If you're on the network, that's notoriety.
Just saying, as far as the Headbangers go, they were never really thought of as a great tag team because
Here's-
they weren't great workers.
Here's another tag team that could right in the conversation. Scott Taylor and Brian Christopher. Too much at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Not too cool.
Mm-hmm.
Another team gets overlooked. 8 Ball and Skull, the DOA.
All right.
The Godwins when they were evil.
All right, evil Godwins.
I like them.
Yeah, I like the Godwins.
They're evil, not hugging
Oh,
pigs.
You don't like Suey.
Don't like Suey.
You don't like, come on, pig.
Bodacious Bart and Bombastic Bob. One of the final 2 teams. The new Midnight Express, managed by James E. Cornette.
Bodacious Bart.
Good Lord.
Along with
Who
Bob
the
Holly.
That has to be Pat Patterson. That has one it sucked written all over
That's
it.
Pat Patterson all
Whenever
over.
you guys on this show, by the way, so you're in the know when you hear one it sucked, it's a Pat reference.
Yeah.
Pat Patterson.
Pat Patterson always wants it sucked.
They're actually one of the last 2 teams with the returning LOD, completely new look, helmets,
LOD
sunny.
2000.
I didn't like it, I gotta say. When I first saw them at this moment, I was like, oh, awesome. And then, like, yeah,
Yeah, the helmets.
it was awful.
The helmets just...
At the time,
Don't fuck with my LOD.
they had hockey helmets
Yeah,
on.
why do you have to fuck with LOD?
I guess they felt like they needed to update
No.
them. But obviously, LOD gets the win. They go on to the next month at Unforgiven to wrestle the New Age Outlaws, and they lose.
Yep.
Because they turn them into jobbers.
Yep.
JOB 2000.
Pretty much.
That's WrestleMania 14.
That's your WrestleMania 14, guys. That was our
Pete
WrestleMania.
Rose, Tombstone for the first time. I loved all of Pete Rose's appearances.
He gets
Kane, Tombstone.
Tombstone by Kane.
I don't know how we forgot that one.
Well, that was part of the WrestleMania
Hey
Undertaker
guys,
match.
I did my best. What did you think of my WrestleMania review? It was all right. Yeah.
I liked it.
So
I'll give it a B minus.
I give it a A minus. I like that
I
WrestleMania a
didn't
lot.
think it was that good.
As a
But-
show as a whole, I like it.
Nah.
Well,
Fell flat for me. I thought it was a good WrestleMania for the work, but as far as build up for some of those
it
matches,
led to huge things. The
Like-
show in general, the Austin era, maybe.
oh, so we're gonna give WrestleMania 14 the credit for the Attitude Era.
Considering Austin won the title for the first time, sure. But we've reached.
He wasn't already hot before that. Or anything.
He never held the title.
Oh, because we didn't know he was gonna win the belt at this WrestleMania.
Hulk Hogan could have came in
Yep.
the '80s, hot as a motherfucker. No gold, no mainstream exposure.
You knew Hulk Hogan was gonna beat Andre the Giant. You knew Stone Cold was gonna beat
Oh,
Shawn
were you there?
Michaels.
Oh, you were 3. That's right. You weren't old enough to know.
You knew Stone Cold was gonna beat Shawn Michaels, and you knew
But
Roman
that's-
Reigns was gonna beat Triple H.
You cannot compare the Stone Cold Shawn to Roman Reigns Triple H. You were excited for Austin.
Well, you knew he was gonna win, but you were okay with it.
You were definitely okay with it. 'cause
You
it was
weren't okay with Roman
Like you
winning?
said, he was red hot before that, so it was about time. And that's what I mean, it kick-started it. So
Sorry, I was playing Vince.
well, don't play Vince. Because you,
That was probably Vince's explanation. Well, you knew Stone Cold was going to beat Shawn Michaels, so what's the difference between making Roman win? And then the rest of them are like, oh, you're right, boss, yeah.
well, yeah, very much.
I want to keep my job.
Just put Steve Blackman
Yeah.
in any spot in the Attitude Era, and
Oh, my God.
I'm happy.
Here we go.
Oh, come on, you love some Blackman.
Oh.
That music is pretty awesome, though.
What is it with you and Steve Blackman?
Well, his Boys to Men love.
You liked his pecs.
Can I get my Boys to Men shout out? Didn't they sing the national anthem one year at WrestleMania? Why are you staring at me like that? Well, I say, can I get my Boys to Men shout out?
I think it was WrestleMania 4 or 5.
Are we that deep in at 5?
Yeah.
That was like 89. It was.
Yeah, it was Boys to Men.
They were still boys. I'm thinking like 2000 or something.
No, it
I'm
wasn't.
telling you.
Like, Boys to Men was popular in the 90s, not 2000.
But as Boys to Men love to say, we've reached the end of the road. There's another show in the books, Michael. Show
We are-
6 done.
We are coming back
Just like
next
that.
week for show 7 on the Slam Pigs podcast.
We got big things planned for next week.
We got a lot of big
Frost is in the house next week.
Frost is going to be live. We're
First
also
ever interaction for you two guys. I'm excited for it.
absolutely
And it's going to be live, baby. Live.
live, baby, live, live, baby, live. We're going to have our Raw review as usual. We're going to have our fan questions. We're going to have our match of the week next week, which we already went over. We're also going to have our WrestleMania of the week next week, which I'm going to unveil right the fuck now.
And it's going to be WrestleMania. What?
19, live from Safeco Field in Seattle, Washington.
Live, baby, live. Caesar's Palace.
No, it's Safeco Field.
I just mixed it all
I know,
together.
you
in
get
a pot.
excited.
It was
Yeah.
a melting pot.
Safeco Field.
Sorry.
Can I shout out Natty Bo finally? I
Go
think
ahead.
it's finally
Shout it out.
sponsored me officially.
Shout it out.
There it is.
Natty fucking Bo. Natty fucking Bo. WrestleMania 19 is our WrestleMania of the week. Don't forget to send us our questions,
You
guys.
want to sign off for the night, Mike?
What? Can I finish? Jesus Christ, I'm a broadcast journalist.
Can't finish.
I'm a broadcast motherfucking journalist, and I can't finish.
I'm just excited that we got to talk about Ricky Morton and Flash Funk in the same
I
match.
get it. I know
At a
you're
re-
excited
at a
about it. And you got
WrestleMania.
your Steve Blackman in.
Oh, he was a tag team
I
with
know. You
Flash
love
Funk.
you love you some Blackman.
God.
But
They
next week-
were both simultaneously eliminated by Animal, apparently. I don't remember that.
Next week,
Simultaneously.
we're gonna have us some WrestleMania 19, maybe some Steve
Can't
Blackman.
wait. Can't wait for that.
Hopefully, somebody sends a question. What's your favorite Steve
I
Blackman
can't
moment,
wait.
Travis? So you can get all up on that.
Hey, come on now.
But
Be generous.
otherwise, guys, send us your
Don't
question.
be a cheap date. Give me a little tickle pickle and
Yep.
send me on my way. I
Give
gotta
us-
get a little shit and shave and
Give
give
us-
my wife a little tickle pickle.
Give us a little feedback, guys. Just
Mr.
like this
Dugan.
week. I love these fan questions. I want at least 5 next week. If I don't get 5, a lot of
He's
people
gonna spit.
probably gonna spit, but I'll probably live. But we're gonna go over our Raw review, rumors of the week, maybe some injury news if somebody gets fucked up.
Retro match of the week.
Retro match of the week,
Brett
like
and
I
Roddy.
said, it's gonna be Brett and Roddy
It's
from
gonna be a good
WrestleMania
show
8.
next week. We're gonna have Frost
Oh
on.
my god, and we're gonna have WrestleMania 19 on it.
I think we're gonna when we talk about the retro match of the week. Maybe we should get Frost on the air.
Maybe he remembers this match.
But
like we
I'll
did.
get in contact with him.
We'll let him know.
Go ahead and sign yourself off for the night. Thank you once again for joining me. This has been a long week of a long weekend of wrestling. This is kicking or the tail end, not kicking off. What the fuck am I talking about?
Yeah.
WrestleMania is over. This is officially this show put the period on it.
It's a new year.
On to payback. AJ
Yep.
Styles, Roman Reigns.
It is a new wrestling year.
Thanks once again, Mike. Have a good week, man, and I'll see you next week here on the podcast.
Thanks, Travis. Thanks to all our fans, all you Slam Pigs. We'll see you next week on the Slam Pigs podcast live on Hibiki TMD.
And you can catch us on Twitter once again at the Hibiki TMD. You can check out Hibiki Quickie, Hibiki History, everything you want to see on the channel. Thanks once again, guys, for all your questions. Seriously, we could not do this show as long as we do each week if we didn't have all the material you guys give us to go off of. So thank you so much once again. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week on the Slam Pigs podcast.
See ya, baby! Every night!
How about the background of the Sheik?
The Slam Pigs Podcast.